Let's go with it. Let's go with it. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Brian, come on, bro, with your damn name. I was like, who the fuck is this? Who is this? Who are you? Either way, anyway, welcome to another video. Welcome to another podcast, No Filter Podcast. I am going to change my name actually after the day's end. Is going to be Illicit Therapy. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I think I'm going to settle here. I don't like Gamecast anymore. I'm done with it. I'm done with game. Let me stop doing that before I knock something out. Oh, shit. Oh, boy. Delete. I got you, fam.
Hey,
What's
man.
going on, Brian? Yo.
Not much.
Can you, can you explain yourself, please?
What happened?
That name?
Oh, well,
Hmm?
yeah, I was Sir Comes a lot, but then Guap got me on. I didn't make it original, so I came, but I come freely.
I come free. What is the background
Yeah,
to
just
that
the
name?
name.
Just the name, huh?
Yeah, just the name. Just the name.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, toxic gaming culture. Is this about the Akira situation?
No, actually, this is about something a little different. Although that's it's not really about the culture. You know, I always like to throw motherfuckers through a loop. You know what I'm saying? It's not even about that. What it is about, though, um,
Okay.
is I mean, and I'll get into that in a second too. Now that you mention it, it is
Okay.
that is
I
definitely an
just
interesting thing. I didn't want to take any kind of shine or not shine. Like that. I don't have the fucking backing for that, but I didn't want to seem like a copycatter. You know what I'm saying? I know that Chris Rice was
oh
doing
I
something like that, but
I just woke up. Yeah, because Gamer had one earlier, so
yeah,
I was yeah.
everybody
So
was
I
talking
missed
about that shit.
Chris. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean he's gone. I mean he left. Which I don't know. I think I might have said. I think I had. You know what? I don't know. It don't matter. It just doesn't matter. I don't think he harmed anybody. I mean, obviously, I liked it. Some of the tweets were funny. I made a couple funny tweets, but at the end of the day, I thought it was old news anyway. Because I thought we did this months ago, and I guess the letter got it brung back up. I don't. I'm still confused on everything, but because none of this was new at this point. But I don't know.
It was new for me, but I didn't.
Oh, you didn't know about any of this at all,
No, I
ever?
mean, I didn't know that. Okay, so let me present the show. I'll say this shit again. Welcome to the No Filter Podcast. This is your host, Illicit Therapy. That's what it's going to be. But you may
Okay.
see me on Ask Gamecast on here. I have a YouTube channel that also has Gamecast on there. We
Okay.
are recording live right now for both Space and YouTube. So if you do want to come in and kind of chime in, you will be recorded. But we have two topics to talk about. One is the toxic gaming culture, and then single player versus multiplayer. So going on to the toxic gaming culture, what I originally wanted this to be before this Twitter member supposedly did something that he already done apparently, um, and I'll get into that. It was about how it's not even about the culture necessarily. It's about like how people seek attention. That's really what it boils down to. And it's like calling out people that claim that this gaming culture is so toxic, which I mean everything at this point is toxic. Politics, religion, gaming, all of this shit is toxic. But the thing that was supposed to be highlighted, because the second subject is clearly single player versus multiplayer, which is I think EA was making fun of multiplayer games. I think Microsoft tried to do some shit like that and got clowned, but that's pretty much self-explanatory. There was a an employee that worked at Santa Monica Studios, the studio that was um, had something to do with God of War. I'm not even sure what this chick did. I don't think she was incredibly important, but one of the trends that I keep seeing is people don't know how to be an adult or handle their fucking business behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? Like, what happens is that they claim victim and they make a massive fucking spectacle. And then they claim that it was the toxic gaming community that caused this shit to happen. I mean, you had Frost, that was one of the people who did this too, just out of nowhere saying that there was toxic masculinity and gaming, just stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? I personally, and I think Jemiah said this shit too when we weren't streaming. If I were this chick, I would have literally, if I got an unsolicited, if I was a chick and got an unsolicited dick pic, report the motherfucker and keep it blocked and keep it moving. Oh no, but she had to make a whole fucking spectacle and walk of shame. I'm not condoning the dick pic, but it didn't cripple you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, me being a black person, I get this shit all the time. Somebody say something out of pocket, block and move the fuck on all the time from man, woman, whoever the fuck it is. And you never hear about it. But people think that they are the center of the universe and they are in their own reality TV shows. That's what really kind of got to me. Even Corey, I don't feel like these people should really have a Twitter handle because it's like, you know, people are like, oh, this is the equivalent of shut up and play ball. Well, I mean, yeah, shut the fuck up and play the. Don't you have a game to be making? So the other portion is this Akira, which I'll tackle now since Brian jumped in talking about this in particular. So it's I'm going to touch a touch on people thinking that they're famous and then creating spectacles and then claim that the fucking gaming community is so fucking toxic. Then get the fuck out of it then. Close your fucking Twitter handle and any social media and you won't have any fucking problem. But Akira, right? I'm gonna ask you a question, Brian. What if this dude pretended to be black and was like, I don't, you know, I feel like other races shouldn't say nigga. You know, that's our word. And by the way, if you don't know, there's a guy, I don't know if he's still there, I don't know if he deleted his Twitter handle. I'm wondering myself, but
Are you Chris J?
huh?
Are you talking about Chris J? Is that the other guy?
Say that again.
Are you talking about Chris J? Is that the other guy?
Oh no. I'm talking about, well, I mean, Jesus, there's so many of them. I'm talking about Akira at this point. If anybody don't know, Akira was basically a Filipino man posing as a Japanese guy, and then, you know, people are trying to cancel him or trying to hang him at, you know, burn him at the stake because he makes some really interesting conversations saying that Jap, I believe, was the equivalent of the N word. He said a lot of things like that, which is probably why he ran away because he said he was popping shit. Not that I really give a fuck, but I mean, I'm just mentioning it. But if he were to pose as being black, because everyone's making an outrage about it and making a whole thing instead of just addressing this motherfucker, maybe in the space, if you wanted to take it there, let him talk and say why he did what he did. What if he posed to be black? It was like, nigga. You know what I mean? How would you feel about that? Because Brian, you're black, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I'm blue, but yeah.
You who?
I'm blue on Twitter, but
You blue.
on
Okay. Cool.
yeah.
Cool. 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 This dude. How would you feel about that though?
I mean, obviously that should be very simple. I mean, because it's happening currently with the whole Chris J situation. But no, obviously I wouldn't like it, and it should be called out, and that was addressed as well was with the whole Chris J situation. But like I said, my opinion on it is very different. His what I said earlier, gamer space,
You're
and
you're you're, you're digitized. All right, this should work now. Let me try to retweet this shit. Share. See that'll work. What's going on, cheat? I gotta check. I gotta check YouTube. I don't know what the fuck happened there. All right, looks like we're back up and running. That was fucking annoying. Invite to speak. My apologies. My apologies. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I gotta go on YouTube and try to see if I can edit this shit and see what I could do. But my modem actually crashed. I don't know, and restarted. Do. Oh yeah, I gotta edit this shit too to make it look nice. All right, done. All right. Okay, give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear me. Give me a peace sign if you can hear me well. All right, cool. All right, excellent, excellent. I'm gonna try to hit him up. Oh, there you go. Here we go. Invite to speak. All right, sorry for the technical difficulties. My modem must have reset. We're about to have a storm here, so that's probably what ended up happening. Something outside must have got crossed or whatever the case is. So as I was saying, and it's weird because the YouTube didn't actually shut down though, which is cool. So I don't have to make another YouTube video because that shit's super fucking annoying. As it stands though, we are going to continue on. Maybe because YouTube kind of like has a algorithm that just kind of like you know reserves. What the fuck? They got polar bears in this bitch. Anyway, Brian, what's good with you, man?
Hey, is this better?
That it wasn't even you. It was me. My bad, man. It was all me.
Not much. Just chilling, man.
Shit, correct. So you were saying, and let me get everybody up to speed in case anybody didn't know. I'll just say this: we have two topics here. I actually don't need to go through everything, but I'll do my little introduction again. Welcome to No Filter Podcast. This is your host. It's going to be Illicit Therapy, also known as Gamecast. I'm also broadcasting on YouTube as Gamecast as well, which is also going to change to Illicit Therapy. We usually talk about topics with gaming and things of that nature. And the two topics that we're going to talk about today are supposedly toxic gaming culture. And the second topic is going to be about single player versus multiplayer. This is coming from EA that simply just wants us a multiplayer world, apparently. So I believe the last person that tried to clown single player games got clowned themselves, which is Microsoft. But we're going to talk about that. But the more pertinent situation is this: it's the toxic gaming culture that we supposedly have. Which I'm not saying that we do not have toxic gaming culture, but there's a couple different cliff notes and notes here that is issue. One of which is people, either they're an influencer or they are people that have some sort of following, and they can't distinguish reality from fiction. These people tend to gravitate towards clout, engagement, and likes, and they'll do whatever it takes to get there. One of the people that irritated me was a Santa Monica Studios developer, where she received supposedly an unsolicited dick pic for the release date of God of War Ragnarok. I feel like an adult that wasn't looking for clout could have just simply blocked them or reported them to Twitter, blocked them, and moved on with their life. I don't understand why they have to be a personality on the social media. It's like you're trying to get praise and showers and shit like that. So that's going to be something I want to tackle. The other thing I want to tackle is quite simply there are people that have a decent following on Twitter or different social media, and they'll do anything. This is going from the fucking supposedly gamer girls that basically is practically fucking naked and have a picture that's completely unrelated to social media, talking about they're going to play Returnal, but her titties are out for some reason. Or you got people that are pretending to be a different race altogether to fit in. One of which was a guy named Chris. I don't know all of his name, but one of which was this dude that wanted to be black apparently. I mean, I've seen some light skinned ass black dudes, so I can't really say that this situation is. I mean, if he's black or not, I don't know. I don't feel like it matters too much on social media in general because it's just all fake. The other person was a Japanese guy by the name of Akira. Supposedly, he was Japanese. And so he mentioned tweets that were like, I feel like saying Jap is the same as saying the N word. It's the same offensive term. And I had to check his ass on that shit too. Turns out that this guy that was capping for Japanese people wasn't even Japanese. He's Filipino, maybe something else, but he isn't Japanese. So my question to you, Brian, is if this Filipino guy posed as being black, it was saying, you know what, nigga, I don't like this game, and he just kept saying nigga, 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 right? And then we all figure out that he was Filipino. Like, how would you feel about that? You said you weren't cool about it before I had that downtime, but
Yeah.
what difference? What's the difference?
I I said this earlier. I guess I wanted to use my exact words. Look, I've had the least experience hanging out with Akira. Yes, does he normally frequent the spaces I'm in? Sometime. But here's the take I said earlier in Gamer Space. This was brought up months ago. Obviously, got brought back up. I guess 15 hours ago is when it started again. So I mean, shout out to Toxic for bringing this to everybody's attention months ago, and nobody seemed to give two fucks back then, and now everybody seems to give two fucks.
I don't want to interrupt you. I am so sorry, but here's the thing: what happened back then? How did people discover his race? I like that's the thing that I'm not figuring out.
Well, Toxic's been around for a while, and I don't want to speak for Toxic. But Toxic's been, obviously, yeah, Toxic's been around Twitter for a while. He knew Akira from back in the day, and Akira said some real salacious things back then. Toxic is the type of guy that keeps a lot of records. They got into it when they did when Sony did that state of play about Japanese games, and Akira was capping for these Japanese games. I mean, all it started over games, as it always seems to do. And so him and Toxic went back and forth. So Toxic decided to bring out the records that he likes to keep. Shout out to Toxic. And so Toxic put it out there. Um, it got exposed then. He said he was Filipino and black. I mean, I'm sorry, Filipino and Japanese. And to me, that was the end of it. And that's how it got exposed then. What I said today was it doesn't matter if he's fully Japanese. Obviously, look, the things he said, yeah, he should definitely be checked on. 100%. If he's using F words, Jap words, I'm sorry, let me be correct. J words and all this other stuff. Yeah, you check them on it, most definitely. But at the end of the day, what are you guys going to do? Ban them from the community, a quote unquote gaming community, which I hate using that word because
So
I don't think this is a gaming community.
no.
I think I think we're people that migrate together and we get outraged over certain things. But I mean, honestly, what you gonna do at the end of the day? Are we gonna what? Every time he gets into a space, kick him out? I mean, every time he tweets something we don't like it. I mean, look, man, there's nothing you can do about it. If the man is half Japanese, half Filipino, all Filipino, whatever, I just don't care at the end of the day. He hasn't used he said what he said. He did make some sort of an apology about it. I mean, I've heard it on a podcast he was on. He addressed it. It was brung up. He apologized. He
But
said,
what is it? But hold on. What is he apologizing for if he's half Japanese?
no. He apologized for the words he's used before.
And did he use the N word?
To my knowledge, no. But I think somebody bring it up. I mean, you might want to bring up Shadow may know a little bit more than me. Chico probably knows a lot more because that's Chico's thing. He's always in the middle of shit. So Chico probably would know more. Everybody here knows Akira a lot better than I do. I don't, like I said, before I started speaking, I said we don't normally run too tight in many circles. Obviously, I interact with him in spaces. I did follow him until he deleted his Twitter or suspended or whatever he did. But other than that, I don't interact with Akira like that. So I'm probably the least qualified to speak about Akira versus people that's currently in this space. If they want to come up, I think they would be more educated than me. So I would recommend you obviously bring one of them up.
I don't see
As far
anybody
as
really trying to speak about this situation. Oh, wait, hold on.
okay,
I spoke too soon. Shadow.
okay,
Shadow
yeah,
Blaze.
Shadow will
Rated
be
PG.
more educated than I am. Like
Rated
I
PG
said, cheat code is
13.
in everybody's business. No offense to cheat code,
Ooh.
and Link knows him as well. So I'm the
Sh-
least educated here.
shadow ban. Why you try to shadow ban Carrie? What'd he do? Are you there, Shadow?
Huh? Oh shit. Okay, I'm so sorry about that. I was watching something. Hey, what's going on?
What's going on? What's going on?
Go
Welcome,
for it.
welcome.
Hey, um, so yeah, I mean, like all the information that was found out earlier today, that's none of that shit is new. None of that shit was new. All of that shit was out in the open a couple months ago. Toxic was the main person who exposed everything first. Um,
Okay.
about him lying about Japanese and his nationality or whatever, and then also there was some tweets that was also shown about Akira saying the F word. Um,
F word. What F word?
eh,
Fuck.
mm.
Not that F word you
The
think
other
about a
F
little bit.
word.
Not that one.
Oh, you mean the homophobic word?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he
Okay.
used it a couple of times in a couple of his tweets.
And his tweets in this day and age?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me find
I
it
did
for
invite
you.
Toxic.
Oh, did you? Yeah,
Yeah,
Toxic
I
has
invited
more info,
Toxic.
but basically, yes, there was a tweet, a couple. I don't want to say a couple months ago. I want to say what 2021. I want to say 2021. Let me
Uh,
find it. Give me 1 second.
yeah, it was a while back. This is when he went by a different name, I think.
Uh, Here's receipts number
It, it,
one. It's posted
oh,
up
okay,
in
there
the
you go.
jumbotron, and then here's also the this essay. I'm going to call it an essay, I guess, about all that shit.
So I got that one. This is the guy, I guess, uh, Jody.
Yeah, Jody
So
and
I've seen this one.
Genki.
Okay.
Yeah,
Actually,
Jody's a female, dude.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I know. I've seen her in certain spaces. As someone who likes to read history from every world, Japan baffles me the most. How did we go from rape, torture, human experimentation, war in the Southeast Asia, Pokemon anime, advance? Okay, so he said Japs. Okay. Did you just use a slur to refer to people? No, it's not a slur. It's just a shortcut for, okay, it ain't a slur. And he says that he's a Japanese person. Okay.
First of all, I didn't even know quote unquote Jap quote unquote is a slur. I didn't know that at all personally.
I mean, I think it's honestly, and I'm going to say this, right? And then this is the big problem for not just the gaming community.
Mm-hmm.
This is a fucking big problem for people and their egos,
Mm-hmm.
and how people want to be right so badly. See, back when Pearl Harbor happened or whatever the case is, they shortened this up. Instead of saying the Japanese, they just said Jap. It is a short
Oh,
term. So
it is a short
because
term. Okay.
again, it's a slur, but it isn't the type of slur that's like nigger. It's not that slur. This was like
It's
telling
still kind of
people who they.
disrespectful
It,
if you
it
say
is disrespectful.
Japanese.
Yes, it's disrespectful, but it is not like nigger. It ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not taking it away because me and Akira, we talked about this too, because he said that it was just as disrespectful as the N word.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you need to go back and figure out where that word came from and what kind of damage that word is. They're not equal. It's disrespectful, just like saying Jew is disrespectful too, technically. You know what I'm saying? These are terms coming from war, and they shortened it up. You know, because that's what humans do. They shorten shit up. You know, but the problem here is that a lot of people are not educated. You know what I'm saying? There was one person, for instance, on social media that said Negro, it was raised a Negro crayon because it was written in fucking Spanish. They said that was fucking racist for Crayola. And I'm like, bitch, don't you understand that there's a different fucking language other than English? Like, that's the type of shit that's going on here. I have a question, though. Is he Japanese in any capacity?
From what Nib has told the space earlier today, he was born in Japanese. He was born in Japan, and then he moved to the Philippines at a young age. So I don't know if that confirms that he's Japanese. Just because I'm born in, Japan, but my parents are black doesn't mean that I'm Japanese,
It
at least
definitely
in my
doesn't.
opinion. But, if my mom is Japanese and if my dad is black, then I will of course be black and Japanese. But that's just my opinion. But I also want to ask you and I guess the panel a question. And here's my takeaway from it. When Akira used the F word, right? And I have to shift gears on this. He used the F word a couple of times, and he was on Luca's podcast. Actually, shout out to Luca. Um, he said to her that he didn't necessarily know what the F word means when he was using it. So I was just low key kind of confused because you don't use those type of slurs and not know what it means. So why would you use the word if you don't know the meaning and context behind it? And that question has been baffling for me for months. But it's not a big. I'm not making it a big deal. It's just kind of crazy to me that I'm going to sit up here and use that word if I don't know what that word means. You know what I'm saying?
So
So
did he use it, or was his first time using it? Was the question of what does it mean?
no, he used it as an insult to other people, as you can see within these tweets.
Oh, okay, okay. Let me check that
So
out because I was looking for it. All right. So he doubled back and was like, "Oh, I don't know what this is. It a bad word?"
hell yeah, it is a bad word.
No. I'm saying that's what he
Oh,
was doing. No, I know the history of that.
yeah, like
Okay.
Luca asked him, like, do you even know what that word even means? And he was like, no, I don't. She was like, you basically used the word and you don't know what it means. And he was like, no, I don't. So, but of course he apologized, and after he got, context of what the word means, but it still kind of necessarily doesn't negate the fact that you use certain words as insults and you don't know what they mean, because you can offend anybody for that matter. But
The same thing happened to what's his name? The fuck is that famous PewDiePie? Where
I don't know. I don't know what
he's
shit.
just well, PewDiePie is the biggest YouTuber. If you don't, I'm sure you know. Well, if you don't, he's the biggest
Mm-hmm.
YouTuber. Like period. There's no one on YouTube that's bigger than him. I think he has like 60 million subscribers or something like that.
Oh, I thought it was ISO Speed. Oh.
No, that's that dude. Uh, that being said, he was playing and he's in Sweden. He was playing the game, and he was like, "Oh my god, it's fucking niggas" or something like that. And people recorded him, and then he was like, "I didn't know the context of it." You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not going to sit there and I mean, I don't know how you fail to not know what words mean. You know what I'm saying? And be just casually using them. And I'm like, this is not a way for me to sit there and condone any actions. But here's the thing: the reason why I created this space isn't necessarily because of Akira, because I don't do that shit. My original thing is just people trying to grab clout, and that's what I believe Akira was doing. He constantly was in this state of social justice repeatedly, constantly talking about situations, and it wasn't about gaming. It was always these political and racial racially charged tweets and posts and stuff like that.
Really?
And yeah,
Hmm.
like these particular tweets that you see here is how he got into it. He wanted to kind of like social justice for certain things. And it's like, if you're not Japanese, you're capping for them, but you're not even Japanese. And then you're claiming to be Japanese. But then we're in a world anyway where this is a slippery slope. Because if he feels like he's Japanese, I mean, who are we to say that he isn't at this point? It's just a weird thing. So how do you feel about the situation? Do you even care? Like, I know it happened
I
months
mean,
ago, but how do you feel about him and your interactions and the situation altogether, especially with the history that he has?
to be honest with you, like I never really had an issue of with between me and Akira, except like maybe one time, but we squashed it. Um, but I I didn't care if he was Japanese or not. He said that he was Japanese. Who am I to say no? You're not. I really don't give a fuck at the end of the day. What I personally cared about was him using the F word, really.
Right.
And that kind of like made it seem like, damn, like really, you don't know what that word means. So everything that you say from this point, in my opinion, is null and void. It's kind of like discrediting yourself, as a gamer to me. I mean, yeah, you play all these games, this and that, and the third, but you probably play games that you don't even know what they're even about. You just playing them just to play them. You know.
So, do you dislike the guy?
No, I just don't care for him.
It's
Really,
just, it's just,
it's
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 just.
I don't hate him, and I'm not about to sit up here and go on a tirade or whatever. But it is what it is. He said what he said. He also apologized. So I mean, I'm not gonna. I don't hold grudges. You know.
What about the public shaming that's going on with homie? You know what I'm saying? Do you feel like it's justified for everyone to try to go into full blown cancel culture on him? Does it even matter? Like they call themselves. I think Brian said this before, which is like eye rolling. Not that what he said is eye rolling, but just like they say that the gaming community, which oh yeah, he's there. He went back to listener. The gaming community and stuff like that, and I for one, with their hand over their heart, denounce that this person. I'm like, I don't think it's that deep, but how do you feel about the whole like people doing that nowadays, trying to cancel people?
I think it's kind of fade, to be honest with you, because these were the same people that was cool with him. The same people that was cool with him, that was friends with him or whatever, is the same people that are, trying to like get rid of him or cancel him and stuff like that. That's
Mm.
how I feel personally. Um, do I think it's necessary? Mm, I I I mean, I don't I don't care if he's canceled or not.
Right, right.
Honestly,
It's not even
that's
it's
not
a
gonna that's
non-issue.
not gonna help me. That's not gonna help me. At all. So if he's canceled, he's canceled. If he isn't, he isn't. I still give respect where respect is due if I come across him. However, all the shit that he talks about, about other, because what he likes to do sometimes, and what I always peep from him too, from time to time, is that you know when certain Xbox people, you know, make a space or whatever, he be the first person to screenshot the space and actually posts it on his page and like tries to talk shit about them. And he does that all the time. Well, not all the time, but some of the time.
Yeah,
Not all
yeah,
the time.
yeah, yeah. I know exactly what you mean. See,
So
this is
it's kind of like, you know, now you kind of like, I don't want to say karma, but you know, karma, because you sit up here every time when a person makes an Xbox space, you the first person to jump ship, well, one of the first persons to jump ship and talk shit about them or whatever when they're not necessarily, you know, throwing PlayStation under the bus, or if it's a respectful conversation about Xbox or whatever. You don't necessarily know the context behind the space unless you actually go into the space and not just screenshot it and then just post it and just talk shit about, you know, some of those people, some, quote unquote, not all, some. So
you know, it's funny. It's one of the most mature things that you can do. I feel like we gotten to a point where we've become, and again, I'm not condoning anybody's actions. Like you adequately put, I really don't care. I don't. I don't care. Like the space actually isn't even about Akira. It's about people like Akira that uses these situations to try to catapult their popularity. I know what he's doing, and he's not the only one that does this shit. Like for instance, if somebody sent you an unsolicited picture that you did not like, what would be the thing that you would do?
probably cuss they ass out and probably not probably, but more than likely cuss they ass out and probably block them. Not
Right.
probably, but block them.
But that's it. We're adults here. But what I'm also seeing is that these people with any kind of notoriety or any kind of following, they use like Alana Pierce. She does this shit too. You use these situations and then you post it on social media and then victimhood the shit to get likes. And like again, Akira did this a lot. You know what I mean? He was all up in the Black Lives Matter movement for some whatever reason he had going on. All up in all these different things. Yeah, he was. He keeps reinventing himself, and he'll come back, over and over in that particular case. And he's not the only one. It's just again, I don't feel anything but disgust for the whole situation. Like you said before, it is fake to go out there and try to publicly hang people. Something happened with Guap recently. Somebody went all the way back and found out a whole bunch of bad tweets that he's done when he was much younger. You know what I'm saying? And it's like this cancel culture thing is a super flawed ideology. Every day you make a change. You know what I mean? You're not going to be the same person that you were yesterday due to your experiences. And this is why I say all of this shit is fake. It's fake outrage. It's fake outrage, and it is there to get engagement. That's the only way I see that this is panning out for these people. Honest to goodness, I don't see it any other way. You know, and I don't respect it either. It's just there to create drama, just to run out and say, "Oh, someone's doing X, Y, and Z." I don't even interact with fucking Akira, but I know, for instance, if he said something that I didn't like, the mature thing to do is disassociate myself with him. That's, to me, in my head, that's what I would do. I'm not going to be fucking screenshotting fucking 4 or 5 years of some shit and posting it on Twitter. I'll block you and be done with it. There's nothing else for me to actually do at that point. I don't need to do anything else. You know what I'm saying? In this world, I'm a black guy. I always get fucking shit. Not always. Let me not put it like that, because it's not like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of my friends are white anyway, but it's you'll get situations, especially online or whatever the hell it is, where people say ugly fucking things. It's a fact of life, and it's created by disagreements. You know what I'm saying? If somebody doesn't agree with you, I don't think that you should be that. I don't even think that you should, for a disagreement, especially with like Roe v. Wade and all that other shit. I don't think that you should be, just because you don't see eye to eye with somebody, unless they personally attack you. I don't think you should be just blocking them and trying to publicly hang them. To me, that's ridiculous. Because in this world, you're going to have a fucking difference of opinion. Period. That's how I see it.
I just wish that, you know, when all of this information first came out, people would have the same energy as they do today, because this, like I said, once again, this is not new. So people should have already done their due diligence prior till today. So
it was crazy. Like it's to the point in Upper Room. I'm about to like you go on after I say what I'm going to say, but like I don't understand. I didn't even know this was going on. I'm on Twitter so I can find out more gaming news. That's really it, and interact with the people that I interact with and keep it the fuck moving. But all this quote unquote community, and you know who you are. If the shoe fits, you know what I'm saying? Do you create this Mean Girls vibe where you can't come into this clique or whatever? It's ridiculous. You're not a gamer creating cliques. That's not how gamers fucking work. You know what I mean? If that was the case, there would be a lot of Japanese games that they would have shut you the fuck out. Monster Hunter being one of them. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but the point is you got a lot of people that does some fucked up things and change. I don't think that Akira, though, I will say this, I don't think he learned. Should he return, I think he'll do the same fucking thing. Because he's not in it because it's in his bad intent. He's in it for the engagement. Whatever the fuck gives me a like or a retweet or whatever the case is, he amassed like, 2,000 followers by doing this? He'll be back doing the same shit. Because it's all about engagement. Yo, Upper Room, what you gotta say?
Oh, what's going on with you?
What's going on?
Ain't nothing, man. Ain't nothing, man. I mean, a lot of this shit, like you're saying, a lot of this shit is just like motherfuckers are very performative online. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, you know, okay, somebody sent a dick pic to a dev to try to get a release date, right? Like, I don't think you have to tell a grown person, don't send a dick pic to a dev to ask for a release date. You know what I'm saying? So even like regurgitating that online, it's like, you get what I'm saying? It's like motherfucking the most obvious shit ever. So like even bringing that shit up, unless you're gonna say, hey, Steve over here, Steve 656 sent me a dick pic. Look at this dumbass right here. Like I can understand shaming the person, but like trying to impart a lesson that's so fucking obvious. You know what I'm saying? It's just performative for engagement and shit like that. And like you were saying, like this motherfucker should be able to suss this shit out in these people's personality before it gets to this. And you know, it's like it's certain people like I don't like hopping in spaces with because I don't think I can interact with them on a cordial level at most times because like either what they're saying just rubs me the wrong way because they sound like they're fucking just like full of shit. You know what I'm saying? And I just like don't like the person. But it's not anything about canceling people or anything like that. It's like, dog, you don't gotta like everybody, and you ain't gotta sit here listening to everybody like they're the.
And you won't like everybody. That's just the way the life is.
And you won't. You know what I'm saying? But like, motherfuckers give people the benefit of the doubt way too fucking much on here. And it's like, dog, do your ears not work? Like, what the fuck are you listening to that makes you think that this person is being genuine? You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's just frustrating that everybody seems to be so stupid that they believe certain shit. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, you got the one guy, what's his name, Chris J or whatever. I don't know if he was because, like I said before the spaces crashed. I've seen a lot of light-skinned black people. So, and I know what a flash on a phone would do to. So some people's skin will absorb light better than others. You know what I'm saying? Or reflect light better than others. You know what I mean? So he's saying that he's a black guy, and he's showing these pictures that apparently is a very lacking of melanin in his skin color. But to be honest with you, who gives a fuck? Who the fuck cares? As the speaker earlier, let me see the name. I'm sorry, I'm poor at names, so please forgive me. As Shadow was saying, who the fuck cares? You don't know these people. This quote unquote community that you claim that you love so fucking much, you don't fucking know these people.
It's certainly not going to bring you no money.
But this is
And
what
they
I'm
ain't
saying.
gonna bring you no fucking money unless they know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. It can boost up whatever the fuck it is. But the people get this shit twisted. You don't know them.
Yeah, but like even the shit with Chris J though, it's like regardless if he's black or white, I don't like that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So it's not even like this big mystery that everybody's trying to figure out. It's like, why are you trying to? Like, do you think that there's a redeemable person under all this fucking trolling and shit like that? I mean, I guess so. If you like them, fuck it. Like that's your homeboy. But like, I don't know, man. Like people talk about canceling and shit like that. I don't even think it's that. It's like you don't have to give it. Like everybody's on this. Everybody needs a voice shit. Like I think everybody needs to shut the fuck up sometimes more often than not. You know what I'm saying? Like talking is great, but listening and trying to suss out what you hear, you know what I'm saying? Paying the fucking attention sometimes when people speak is very important. Everybody's too worried about having their voice and not listening and, you know, deciphering what the fuck they're listening to. And then they're surprised all the time. They're fucking gullible. And the thing is, it's like people get into uncomfortable situations like this, but it's like, dog, it's because y'all allowed this shit, man. Y'all be allowing people to speak way too fucking much that are obviously bad actors. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody, last thing, and I'm gonna shut the fuck up, right? But everybody talks about, oh,
Take your
community.
shit.
I remember before we knew community was all fine and dandy dog. I'm a black guy, right? I remember the first time I got online, I've been getting called a nigga every fucking day since. To me, that's the gaming community. And y'all be trying to avoid the shadows of the gaming community that are obviously there for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dog, the gaming community has been a toxic cesspool of fucking trolls since the shit connected. You know what I'm saying? Since that anonymity that people have Call of Duty lobbies. You know what I'm saying? It's been these horrible fucking people. So to say that like, oh, we got to get this out of the community. No. We just need to recognize what the community fucking is in the first place, right? And a lot of that
Damn,
is the goddamn community.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Look, the same thing. Look, I have no problem with Guap at all. I have no problem with him. But that's a prime example of nobody's fucking perfect. Period.
Yeah.
It's a prime example. It's a prime example. You don't know these fucking people. And even if you did, nobody's fucking perfect. That's why the cancel culture is a flawed fucking concept. There was another case with this girl. She claimed that this guy, and this is on Twitter, that this guy was like really fucking like harassing her, and he was a perv, and what else did she say? He was sending her shit, and she was like, no. And this motherfucker was like, hold the fuck up, bitch. And then posted pictures about her exchanging pictures back and forth. That's why I say this shit is fucking fugazi. It's a fugazi ass shit. And people act like that shit ain't. People act like they're perfect online. Somebody scrunch up the shit that you look up online or interact with online, and you have the audacity to act like you're perfect. Saying that word,
but I don't even
the homophobic.
I don't even think it's about being perfect though. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's about being perfect. Like some people
No, of
are
course it's not.
Purpose. So you know what I'm saying? Like I just am, and I mistakenly offend people sometimes. But people are doing this shit on purpose.
You breaking up.
You know what I'm saying?
You
and
breaking
like,
up.
Okay, cool. I thought it was me. I got scared. I was like, oh shit, you breaking up a little bit. Upper room, you here?
Oh no, y'all got it. I'm here, but like I'll have bad signal. I'm at the beach rolling the blunt, so I'm not gonna have good signal up here.
Okay, well, like you were saying before, I mean, I know it's not about perfection or being a perfect person. We all get it. But to go on social media and claim that you are a perfect person and that you have no issues because you side with one thing, realize in this world, there's always a bad guy. Doesn't matter what side you go on to, there's always a bad guy. your side don't mean shit to the other person if their ideology don't line up with yours. It's always good to have understanding about what's going on. As you were saying, Upper Room, it's always good to fucking have understanding. And most of these people is like, I see this all the time. I'm going to start canceling people if you don't believe what I fucking believe in. Okay, like, you want an echo chamber? I mean, you know, just say that you want an echo chamber and keep it moving. Everybody's not going to be eye to eye with you, and you shouldn't even want that to be eye to eye because, like I said before, I'll keep it light in this situation, right? And I want to talk about more gaming bullshit before we go into the other topic. I didn't like rock music. I thought that rock music was fucking lame back when I was like 14 years old. I thought it was fucking lame. I was like, look at these fucking people here. Listen to rock music. All it is a bunch of white people want to kill people and stuff like that. I was really ignorant back then. But I'll be a man enough to say that shit. If people want to clip that shit, you clip it. The thing is, I went to a house party and they fucking played they played Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, fucking all the other people back then. Linkin Park. And I fell in love with the music, and it expanded my horizon. You should never want to be in a closed space like that. You know better than the people that are racist. That's what the fucking shit is. I'm just not going to listen. La 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 la. You know what I mean? Some of the realest people I know are completely different from me, whether it be their sexuality, or their race, or their gender. And some of the people that are closest to me that had the same ideology were some of the shittiest people. To be honest with you, it's a coin toss. I don't know who's what. All I can do is look at you at face value, see if you jive with me or not, and keep it the fuck moving. But this public hanging that people are fucking doing for some fucking social media shit about some nigga that you don't fucking know. You don't know this motherfucker. No one does, and they don't know you. You can sit there and say all the good shit that at this point in time everybody accepts. And when you go home, you be the most fucked up person out there. It happens a lot in Hollywood. Motherfucker, look, Jeff Epstein's running around and shit like that. Everybody loved his ass. All the famous people didn't say shit. R. Kelly even. Everybody who loved him and shit like that, motherfucker was doing all sorts of crazy shit in the background. And I'm looking at the R. Kelly situation too, now that I'm on this shit. And I still see people, they already knew that this motherfucker was doing what he was doing back in 2099 because there was records of this shit. But they were like, shit, he make me feel good. My pussy be popping when they be doing this. They still, to this day, are taking up for the dude, even though he did that. But if you're going to do that for that guy, keep that same energy for everybody. I'm not saying that it was right or wrong, but keep the same energy. That's how fucked up people's morale is. Their morality is all fucked up anyway. So who the fuck are you to say anything about anybody? If you don't like the person, block them and move the fuck on. This public thing, like, keep it a buck. It has nothing to do. This has nothing to do with you being offended. This has something to do with, like, ooh, this can cause engagement. I'm going to do this so I can get some likes. Because we all know that social media, when you do see a like or a retweet, that's just a fucking dopamine hit. We already know this scientifically. That shit fucks with your head every time you see some engagement. Doesn't matter what gender you are. Keep it a buck. You want the popularity. You ain't offended by this dude saying that he was a Japanese person. Shut the fuck up. Sick of it, man. I'm just over it.
Hey,
That's
Cole,
all I
can you
got.
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. My bad.
I want to say one thing about R. Kelly, right? I gotta say this. I
Go
I
ahead.
was, my bad. I was
You
young.
stupid.
I was
Sean
young,
Black.
right?
Sean
My
Black.
bad, y'all. I was
I'm
young
Black. I'm
when this
sorry. Shadow
shit first
Shadow.
popped off, right? I remember seeing the fucking tape when he peed on that girl. Like, I was like 14 when I watched that shit. So, motherfuckers been known. And last thing, like, he makes pedophile music. Like, the shit that he makes his music about is the shit that was in that tape. And that's the shit that's always bothered me. Like, y'all can listen to that shit, but he's singing about little girls. I don't know if y'all realize that shit. Like,
Yep. Piper, all sorts of shit.
Nigga, he wrote "Age Ain't Nothing But a Number for Aaliyah." Like, it's a lot of fucking red flags here in R. Kelly's music that, like, I know y'all like, oh, that's a jam. It's got like a good rhythm to it, but nigga, he's singing about little children, and that should bother y'all if you listen to the goddamn word. That's all I'm saying. It's fucked up.
It really should though. But that's like I said before. People don't want to hear what I'm going to say. That's fine. People are going to get mad at it. That's fine. You can fucking unfollow me. That's cool. That's cool. It ain't going to change the fact that you're fake. If you do unfollow me, it ain't going to change the fact. You know what the fuck how you feel like deep down inside. You know what the fuck you feel like. There's many fucking people on here that act like they're like, for instance, I'll say this. Now, again, I have my own fucking beliefs, right? When it comes, everybody has their own moral compass. Everyone does. Whether it aligns with yours or not, whatever. The thing is that I may not agree with some things, but I'm not going to sit there and be like, I will never talk to whoever about whatever. But these same people that will put these rainbow fucking signs on their fucking thing, put the fucking he, him, her, they, whatever the case is, right? Those same people are some of the most bigoted people that you will ever fucking meet. Period. Like I said last week, these fucking corporations do not care about you when you see this shit. That fucking girl from Santa Monica Studios, she didn't care if she even got the fucking dick pic. If she even got that shit. If she was about it, she should have blurred the image and posted the shit if it really did that shit. I'm going to tell you right now, these people want the engagement. Why the fuck are you even posting that shit online? Talking about some, I'm so offended. You could be a fan of the game, but just don't send some unsolicited dick pics. I just can't. Delete the shit. Block them and move the fuck on. Who are you anyway? Who are you? God darn, man, that shit's super fucking irritating. Look, it's fucking irritating. It's irritating to the fucking max every time I fucking see that shit. I hate the hypocrisy, yo. I hate it. 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 That's what I really fucking hate. I don't like people that are hypocrites. And this is one of the situations where you are.
Real question. When motherfuckers be like, hey, don't send death threats to the devs, like, who the fuck is that advice for? Is that for like a normal, sane person, right?
And no, wait. Say it again. Say it again.
So when motherfuckers get online like, hey man, y'all need to stop sending death threats to developers, right? And I'm like, okay, it's not a normal person that is out here sending death threats to developers over video games, right? So it's like, you realize you're trying to talk sense to a crazy person at this point. Like anybody that's about to send a dick pic or threaten a dev or something like that, they're too far gone for your little nugget of wisdom. Hey, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like they've already jumped that goddamn bridge. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're insane, and I don't think that normal people need this common fucking sense advice. Like, don't send us unsolicited dick pics to developers. You know what I'm saying?
It was there for you to say something obvious that can't be refuted so you can get the like. That's what it was there for. That's plain and simple. That's a lot of times with these people that are social justice warriors. These people will literally say the most obvious shit so it can't be refuted. Don't be racist. 10,000 likes. Huh? For real? For real though? Don't be racist. That's what you got. Like it's so crazy. I'm sorry if I'm being loud, but like this is a passion statement for me. It's annoying when I see this shit. You know what I'm saying? You're not saying anything great, and you're being fake. Same thing with Akira. To be honest with you, I ain't mad at the dude. But if you're going to sit there and fake your race, I don't know what you are, but I mean, Filipinos, I believe in the Asian family, but like, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know. But I will say this, if you're pretending to be somebody that you're not, I don't think you're all there. I think that you got problems. I think that you need therapy. You need to go to a psychologist or psychiatrist. I definitely think that. I don't think that you belong, like I shouldn't say belong, but I don't think that you should be just going out in regular society without the help that you need. if you're pretending to be somebody else. That's not normal. You shouldn't have to. And I'm not saying that you're crazy, but you shouldn't have to feel horrible about who you are, whether you were raised there or not. I could have been raised in a white community for my whole life and been adopted by white people. That don't make me fucking white. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't claim it. Like, I can't stand being black. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to claim. That don't make any sense. I would think that the guy needs help. I don't know if those pictures that he posts with his girlfriend, I don't know if that's him or her. I don't know what's going on with the situation, but I feel like that's an issue. You need to tend to that. You got to get the help that you need. I don't think that that's normal. Instead of people trying to hang him, I think people need to really look at the situation and be like, I think this dude ain't wrapped too tight. You pretending to be somebody the fuck else all together. You okay, homie? You good?
Yeah. Okay. Yes. 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 I think you're on to something there, right? Because at the end of the day, this is some weird fucking behavior. You know what I'm saying? All this shit. All this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's all weird behavior, and it bothers me that motherfuckers don't identify weird behavior earlier. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, this shit's kind of fucking obvious. I don't know what the fuck y'all been listening to the whole time. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, hey, it's kind of weird. But I guess it's like the gaming community is a little odd to me because everybody, you know, I don't agree with everybody. I don't like everybody's takes on everything like that, you know. So I'll sit to the side and like, man, that's weird. I'm gonna check the fuck out. I'm not listening to this bullshit. But like, I don't know, man. It seems like y'all motherfuckers just try to be too nice to be honest. Like
You
with
can't be honest no
somebody
more. You can't be honest no more.
but being honest with somebody that's obviously fucking lying to you. You know what I'm saying? And they're obviously lying to you. But you are too nice to be honest and say, hey man, that sounds like bullshit. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
from what I heard that the guy that he interacted with said something, and I think it was the post was already posted on there that he said something in Japanese that didn't even fucking sound like Japanese. It sounded like some like y'all niggas knew that shit for a year or whatever the fucking case is. You still interacted with him. How come you didn't ask him? Like, you're like, why are you doing that? You know what I mean? Like, what's happening?
I mean, I look that's I don't know, man. To me, it's like weird that it's like motherfuckers sounded like credible in the first place. I'm like, because to me it's like something not right here. But everybody's like, okay, whatever. That's y'all's boy. Then I guess he is whoever y'all say or whatever. But I don't think that's the point. I just think it's like y'all got to be better at identifying bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Not to get political, but that's why we had goddamn Donald Trump as president because motherfuckers cannot identify bullshit when it's given to them, and it's obvious as fuck. You know what I'm saying? They want to believe something. You know what I'm saying? But
So
like without
badly, they want to
so
believe something
badly
so
that it just
you like. But that's the same thing. But that's the same thing too. If you are well versed in any kind of politics or government, you'll know that none of the sides are good for you. They don't want what's best for you. That's where you gotta look at the history, right? So, for instance, right, this has been floating around. I don't know how true it is, but I think this shit is pretty legit. The whole Roe v. Wade situation, where we have our current president pregnant. We have a current president now that basically was like, "Yo, women's rights and shit," you know. But like for the last 35 years, he's been saying like, "Nah, niggas, like I don't want you to do that." But people didn't like Trump so much they voted with their emotions. But then we didn't have a choice anyway to pick whatever the fuck we wanted anyway. That goes to show you like who's picking these candidates, who's doing that. Like how come I can't pick anybody else? Like the whole situation is flawed. But a lot of people are just emotional nowadays. They're all the way emotional. Don't think, and they don't use any kind of logic to piece things together. That's how a lot of people get themselves into trouble. You fuck with like for guys, you fuck with women that will get you in fucking trouble. And you see the fucking signs. You see it, and then all of a sudden, shock Pikachu face, just like with this Akira dude. Shock Pikachu face when this shit happened. And like him, shock Pikachu face when people reacted the way that they reacted. You knew that you were not Japanese, and you still pretended to be one. So when somebody figures you the fuck out, shock Pikachu face. Don't be shocked. That's what you put out there. It's a shame. I don't feel like this is a situation where you should be hanging people. I feel like it should be a discussion with him and get to the fucking bottom of it. If you guys claim that you're a community, if you're that tight, right, and you knew him for X amount of years, why don't you have a space and talk it out? Ask him why did he do what he did. Have him explain themselves. I don't even think it needs to be like an apology situation. Just what's going on in your head right now. I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist, but what's happening? Why did you do it? Like, I'm not offended, but like, why? What was the point? You got a half Japanese person, I believe. That's Genki. He said he was half Japanese. You knew he wasn't Japanese. You didn't say anything.
Oh.
Well,
He was
motherfuckers trying to be nice. That's what I'm
He was
saying.
he was
Motherfuckers is
quiet
trying
about that shit, and then
nice.
he was
yeah,
quiet about
motherfuckers.
it.
You get what I'm saying, though, motherfuckers, or will just give somebody the benefit of the doubt in the attempt to be nice, a nice person. You know what I'm saying? But in my mind, I'm like, dog, this isn't nice to everybody that's listening, gathered around listening. You know what I'm saying? Like Shadow, if I say some fucked up shit, right? You should not be nice to me and say, hey, dog, some fucked up shit, because that's the real nice shit here. You get what I'm saying? I think it's
People don't know that. People don't know that.
irresponsible
Let me
of
say
us
this.
to not say, hey, this sounds like bullshit. You sound like
Let
you're
me
full of shit.
let me say this too before we go on to the last subject. I don't want to keep this shit too long. It's been first of all, this has been a dry ass fucking week for gaming, yo. Dry. I don't know if he got spoiled, but every week that was going on, but just nothing, like nothing new. Like I'm not even talking about games, just nothing's really popping off. Just a dry ass fucking week. But Shadow, I want to ask you, in situations like where they'll say something that you don't like, would you completely like? Would you try to figure out what's going on, or would you just be like, I don't have time for this shit?
It depends on the person. So if it's a person that I'm cool with and I interact with on, on a pretty consistent basis, then yes. But other than that, no. Hell, there's even times to where I do interact with people um on a consistent basis that some people do say some fucked up shit or some weird shit or whatever, and I don't even have time to confront them or correct them or whatever. Like, that's not my job on Twitter. I don't even have a job on Twitter. I to be
Yeah,
honest with
right.
you, I don't have time to police everybody on every little thing and stuff like that. I'm fully aware that this is the internet, and then anybody can say any and everything that they want or as
I'm
they
sorry,
please
man.
on
Hold
the
on.
internet.
Facts. This is the fucking
So
internet. This is not a nice place.
yeah,
You're anonymous, so you can say whatever the fuck you want to say for the most part. But get
right.
going. Continue. Speak your shit.
And I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm also the type of person that always try to, like, keep the peace with everything and with everybody or whatever. But I've learned my lesson long ago that that's just not going to happen. Even as the same things about PlayStation and Xbox, that's not going to happen. I recently came to terms of that, and I'm still trying to grasp that reality day by day. But, at the end of the day, it is still not my job to police each and every single thing that everybody say on Twitter. I don't work for Twitter. So who am I to even, confront anybody about that shit? But if it's somebody that, I'm really cool with, and, if it really, really, really bothers me, then yes, I will talk to that person in their DMs privately. I don't need to announce it on Twitter that this person said this and that and the third if I know them.
So let me ask you, and that's what I feel like. This gaming community is thirsty. They're bloodthirsty for the people that they interact with. For somebody to do something, and they just bloodthirsty to go ham on the situation and cry outrage. My question to you is this: the F word. Why does that bother you? You
Um,
personally, not just in general. Why does that bother you?
I'm not gonna give y'all my life story. I'm not gonna do that because that's what it basically kind of sort of stems from in my childhood. I don't got time to bore y'all on that, so I'm just gonna skip that semantics.
Are you part of the
However,
LGBT?
absolutely.
Okay, so if somebody that you knew, right,
Mm-hmm.
didn't agree or didn't align with that, like if they say, like, I've always wanted to say this or ask. I'm just kind of,
Yeah,
I'm
go
really
ahead.
wondering if somebody didn't agree with your alignment,
Mm-hmm.
but they still fuck with you,
Mm-hmm.
like on a regular level, but they were like, I don't agree with what you do or what you say, but that's none of my business. How do you react to that?
Okay. Like,
Like,
it's
would you
cool
stop
that you
talking to that person? Like, would you stop talking to that person altogether?
No, I would still continue to interact and to, talk and stuff like that. You know why? Because just because they don't agree with my personal lifestyle, that has nothing to necessarily do with them. I can't convince you to agree with my choices or my preference. Um, long as you still keep that same respect factor, that's all I need, and vice versa. You respect me,
I
I respect you. I'm still
I
gonna
feel like
respect you regardless until you really do some fucked up shit.
right,
Then, yeah.
right. Do you believe that everybody should align with you, or do you believe that this is something that should be across the board, or do you believe in just everyone should have their own shit, their own beliefs, or whatever the case is? Like they're the
Mm,
free to have their own beliefs.
people, I believe that people can have their own beliefs, just long as long as it's respectful. But if it's like disrespectful and you know to the point to where it's like going way out of line, then no, absolutely not. If that makes sense, or
Yeah, that
just
makes sense.
uneven. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I mean, I feel like this is getting off of this particular, like any kind of LGBT, but just in general, like even when you look at the consoles,
Mm.
I fuck with a lot of people that like Xbox, even though I'm a PlayStation guy, right?
Hmm.
There's a difference of opinion. That's it. You like what you like. I like what I like. You don't have to explain to me why you like Xbox at all. Whether I agree with it. If you like Game Pass, you like Game Pass. You don't have to explain shit to me. Like, I don't have to explain shit to you unless you come at me and be like, you're stupid for liking X, Y, and Z. Then I would kindly explain to you why I like X, Y, and Z. And you have the authority and the ability to explain to me why you like that. And we can agree to disagree and move the fuck on. But even in this gaming community, it's like you can't have your own opinion for any fucking thing. Anything beyond anything. I've literally read over the course of a month, people are unfollowing and blocking people for the simplest fucking thing. Like, no one's going to ever align with you perfectly ever in life. Not your family, not your friends, not even your fucking twin brother or sister. They are different fucking people. They have their own fucking beliefs, and you don't got to explain shit to people. You like what you like, you keep it the fuck moving. I'm a guy that I don't like big asses. I like titties. What? What really? Why don't you like? Because I fucking don't. I don't have to explain it to you. I don't have to explain it to you. I like what the fuck I like. That's the end of it. You know what I mean? But people would unfollow people. Like, I'll say something like, I don't like Meg the Stallion. I'm unfollowing them. Huh? Really? It's what all it took. I've been talking. We've been chilling. We've been talking. We were playing fighting games, and we were playing shit online. And all I said is I don't like her music. And because you like her music and her, I have to unfollow you. I'm done with you. Really? Is that really mature? Fucking ridiculous. You see, like the craziness that I see online is just like, what happened to people, yo? Like, really, you that fragile that you can't take another fucking opinion? Really? You
Now,
know, it's just, yeah.
if it's a joke, then it's a joke. But
No, it's not a
if it's
joke.
not,
No, it
oh,
was a joke.
oh,
That was a joke. That was a joke. Not at
no.
all.
Like, I mean, I listen to Megan Thee Stallion or whatever, and a lot of people, fuck with Megan Thee Stallion just because she got ass, but you know, a lot of people don't listen to her music or whatever. So yeah, I'll just be like, what? But it's not something that I will, unfollow people for. She was just tucking her ass last week, but can not one of these people in the community spit a Megan Thee Stallion bar or even name Megan Thee Stallion songs? I do, on the other hand, because I listen to her. So, but that's not like incriminating like details for me to just you know unfollow people or cuss people out or nothing like that.
Yeah, you just feel
Yeah.
like okay, you like whatever you like, you keep it moving. Well, for instance, here's something that's real. Is people will look at me and be like, oh, why don't you date a lot of black women? Because I don't date a lot of black women. That's
Uh-oh.
whatever appeals to me appeals to me.
Right.
That's just the end of the day. I don't have to explain shit to you. I don't want to hear anything about your mom's black. I'm not fucking my mother or sister.
Mm-hmm.
I'm attracted to whatever I'm attracted to. End of the discussion. And I don't have to explain it to you. But there's people out there that would literally don't get it fucked up. For me personally, as long as you're a nice woman and you're not somebody that I have to argue with every fucking 5 minutes and you respect me and the things that I like, obviously I will respect the things that you like and things of that nature. We can agree to disagree on certain things. We gotta obviously have some things in common or else it won't work. But either way, that's really the prerequisites. Just be a nice fucking person and not somebody that I have to fight with because I dealt with 7 fucking sisters that I had to fight with my whole life
Mm-hmm.
all the time. So I just there's certain trigger points that makes me like I don't feel like dealing with this already off rip in general. So that's what's going on there too. But I just to me it's just funny. You got people that are fragile like glass and they can't take someone else's anything really. It doesn't matter what the fuck it is. But I'm really glad. I'm glad that you came on board. That was a burning question for me because I see a lot of people in general, especially when it comes to the situation we just spoke of, they flip the fuck out. Like you have to agree with me, and that's the end of it. Period. Or else I will never speak to you the fuck again. And I feel like that's the most ridiculous thing. That's immature as hell to shut somebody out because they don't align with everything. Like it's just that's the fact of life. It's just not going to be like that. Anyway, last topic or whatever that I want to say is the single player versus now. What console of choice? I would imagine you being in the gaming community, Shadow. What console do you prefer?
I prefer Xbox.
Okay, and what is your game of choice on Xbox?
Multiplayer games.
Oh shit! We on something today, yo. Oh shit! So you on some multiplayer bullshit? All right. Why do you like multiplayer games in particular?
Because I get to play with other people around the world. Now I have had bad experiences with online multiplayers due to the
Mm-hmm.
fact of people have lack of skill. Um, but overall, you can still find quality like-minded individuals who has the same goal, mindset, skill set as you, and I like that. That's just really refreshing and really fun to be around.
So the
So
social aspects, you really that's really where
yeah,
you're attracted to that.
yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
you already gave me the pluses and minuses of being online. So, what about single player games? What are the negatives that you can see when it comes to single player games?
After I complete the story of a single player game, it depends on my first experience from start to finish on if I want to go back and try it again. But more than likely, I'm kind of like done with it after I beat the story and get everything that I desire within that single player game.
So the fact that it ends is like,
Yeah, more than likely, like if it's a single player game that I've already beaten, I tend to not go back through it again. Like for example, I want to say what's a good like Sonic Colors, for example.
okay.
The game came out in 2009 on the Nintendo Wii. I beat that, you know. No, I didn't want to collect all 7 Chaos Emeralds. I'm tired of collecting 7 Chaos Emeralds. I didn't want to do that shit again and again and again. So, anyways, I went through the levels. The gameplay was amazing. The story was amazing. I love the whiffs aspect, the stages, the official soundtrack. I love everything about it. But after I defeated Eggman on the last level, that's it. That's it. So
it's yeah, and me personally, I'm a single player kind of guy, but that brings up another interesting dynamic when it comes to this shit, right?
mm-hmm.
Because you have a lot of the people, a good amount of them on the PlayStation side, right? Because people seem to think that PlayStation don't make multiplayer games, and that's the only thing that they're good for is a single player experience. I mean, you have Gran Turismo, um, all of its iterations, they're always doing something pretty cool. You have The Last of Us, that was really good, Warhawk, and all of the particular games that they've done that was really, really good. It's just that Sony doesn't market the multiplayer games, probably because their PSN wasn't up to snuff back in the PS3 era. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I don't want to draw light to that shit, and people be like, you know what I mean? They start realizing the flaws of that. Cool. The reason why I play single players, right, games, is because I'm trying to better myself. I want to look badass in my own imaginary world. To me, playing single player games is the equivalent of when I was a child and would play with action figures. I didn't really even need anybody, any of my friends, to play with my action figures and shit like that. I never needed that. You know what I mean? I was in my own little world. So when I play games like Horizon or anything like that, it's me exploring the world at my own pace, and not having to worry about that pressure of, you know, being there and keeping everybody in line or being kept in line and things like that. Do I fuck with multiplayer games? Absolutely. But I would never discredit a multiplayer games. But it's funny, there are a subset of people that are elitists. They call themselves real gamers because they play single player games. And I don't think that's accurate. I don't think that's right either. You know, I don't. You're not better than anybody because you exclusively play single player games. Or you're not better than anyone because you play a high caliber single player game like Breath of the Wild. You don't make you better. That
I'm
don't
so
make you
glad that
better.
you said that because I've been having that same thought for months.
And you look at people, it's like, it's so like, how dare you like a multiplayer game? You're so stupid because when it goes offline, you will never get to play that game again. That's the rules of engagement. You know what I'm saying? That's like me going to fucking a fast food restaurant and not eating a bitch, holding on to that shit, putting it in the freezer. You're not going. I mean, things expire over time. There are. Let me tell you something too, right? When this is back in 2007. I met my best friend, one of my best friends on PlayStation Home, which is a fucking multiplayer, a poor multiplayer game at that. I wanted that game. I really loved the social aspect. I was on that bitch for fucking hours, 5, 6 hours, doing nothing but talking to different people. Because you could walk around and you can go to a billboard that had Killzone on the top, or it had Uncharted at the top, or Call of Duty at the top, or maybe it was Gravity Rush over there. And they would congregate over there. The people that were fans of it, they would go over to the billboard and then they would talk amongst themselves and like it. I went over to one of my friends he was my friend at the time, and we were talking about Killzone 2. And even though PlayStation Home doesn't exist anymore, I will never fucking forget that day. It was so uncharacteristic of me to talk that long online at the time. It was completely uncharacteristic. It made no sense, and it was such a really cool experience. Also playing in Killzone, I used to play Killzone 2 multiplayer, and that was one of my first multiplayer games I've ever played. Actually, let me go back. Warhawk, that Sony released. Warhawk got a poor fucking rating because there was no single player. It was just a multiplayer game, and Sony was actually back then one of the pioneers for multiplayer games. That's all they would ever do, and the reason why is because they wanted to bolster their PSN that was free at the time. But one of the things that was really fucking cool about Warhawk is that your character had collision, and you had these ships that could hover in place, right? And you also have biometric clouds as well. So I had one of my friends, and you got a jetpack too. I had a third-person action adventure or action game. I had one of my friends fly all the way to the clouds. He flew in the cloud, 3D cloud. I got out and he hovered it. He made sure the ship hovered. This is not scripted. I got out the ship and stood on the ship, right? Got my sniper rifle and was sniping people, and people for the life of them couldn't understand why they were getting shot. And so they saw the trail from the bullet coming from the cloud. That's when somebody got in the ship and flew as fast as they can up there on a kamikaze mission. Because once these two ships collided, it destroyed both of them. This motherfucker was so pissed. He grabbed the fucking, it was 32 players. He grabbed the ship and flew as fast as he can go into ours. He blew up. I jumped off, right? And glided. Was running for my life. This motherfucker, it was all these people, because I guess they coordinated. And I'm just sitting there gliding with my little fucking jetpack, and I'm like, oh, please, Lord, please, somebody help. And I'm just like gliding this shit. They were just after me. That you can't get that shit on a single player game unless it's curated. But it was a happy accident. Same thing with Killzone. Killzone, there was, and I really hate the fact that we don't have proximity chat anymore. That bothers me. But there was a proximity chat situation with Killzone because they didn't have party chat. That forced people to be more what's the word I'm looking for? More social. It forced people to be more social. So because you had to coordinate, you had squads of 4. And I remember I was the Savitar, or the guy that could camouflage himself. And I camouflaged myself and I looked like one of the other teammates, but it always makes it so that you look a little off. You know what I mean? And I killed a couple of his team members. And it was like, you stupid bastard. He's up fucking stairs. You could hear them. And he couldn't find me. One person fucking found me. And what happens is if you die, you don't die instantly. It's just like Gears of War. You fall to the ground and you have the option, or you have the potential to get revived. So he was like, I got this motherfucker. I got him. He shot me and teabagged me, right? You know what I said on the ground? You's a fucking bitch. Do what the fuck you gotta do. Do what you fucking gotta do. And he fucking shot my head off and the helmet spun. You can't get that shit. You can't get that experience in a single player game. It was just really fucking cool to me. But this whole elitist situation where people are pretending that if you like multiplayer games, you're less of a gamer somehow because you like multiplayer games. It's like so funny. Go on, man.
No. I wasn't gonna say anything. I was just gonna say that you're right, because like, you know, I love playing with my friends and I love playing with other people. Plus, you know, I play with. I have a lot of friends on my Xbox than on my PlayStation. So you know, for me, it's convenient to be on my Xbox because you know I can just invite any of my friends to the party and they can just hop into the party and we can just kick it, chill, whatever. Despite of me playing a multiplayer game or a single player game, but typically we play single player games together. So it's just fun overall. Like interacting with other people, it's just fun overall for me. And like I can't speak for everybody else, but I got like mad people skills. Like I know I can talk to people, communicate and shit like that. So it's not a problem with me opening up and getting to know new people and talking to new people, things of that nature. So
Nowadays, it is a difficulty for people to actually like. I noticed that too. Even when I'm trying to spit game to chicks, right? It is difficult to actually talk to people. People are so antisocial nowadays. Anybody really. I don't like everyone became like hermits in general. You know what I mean? Even when you do the whole party chat, that's why I was like, I kind of miss having proximity chat because it kind of forced you to be social. I feel like everyone wants to be in their own little bubble, and you know what I mean. Like they all want to speak to only these people. I even deal with it now on PlayStation, where you know you get into a chat with somebody else that's your friend, like a mutual friend, right? Motherfuckers, they don't know you. They'll just shut the fuck up, like stranger danger. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, I don't want to say nothing. You know what I mean? Or I don't know what it is. I don't have no problem, kind of being myself. You're not going to agree with me. I promise you that. I'm going to end up saying something that you're not going to agree with, but I will always respect you. Always. I mean, I heard my situations, people calling me niggas and shit like that online. And the funny thing is, we became friends. I beat the shit out of this person online for him doing that. I made it a point to find him every fucking time. When he said what he said, and he was like, you know what? I don't like you, but I gotta give you credit. Yo, here's his fucking friend request. And I fucking accepted it, and we became cool. You know what I'm saying? You never know what the fuck life brings you. So like being a closed-minded person, it's no good. It's no good. Just like the people that sit there, they say that single player games is the best thing ever. People like to prop up PlayStation shit and say that that's the only way to go. And then they're pissed off that Sony is actually like going to go like games as a service. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, how could you be tired like this? Are you supposed to just only make single player games? Well, guess what? Did you buy some of the single player games I made? Because you didn't. You definitely bought Call of Duty though. You bought that shit. You bought FIFA. But you didn't buy Gravity Rush though. You didn't like that though. You know, you didn't buy Days Gone, and now you're complaining about a fucking sequel. You didn't buy that though. You know what I'm saying? It had to be fucking creme de la creme, fucking 10 out of 10, 18 or 37 times before you decided to buy it, so you could use it as rhetoric on social media to say that you made the better choice of your plastic little box. Is that what you did? Well, then guess what? Fuck you. I'm going to make my money because apparently you motherfuckers don't buy single player games the way that you need to. This shit is expensive. I know this shit, and I'm a big fan. I don't like Xbox at all. I hate that company. I can't stand them. I don't think they do a good job with management. I don't like the way their box is. I don't like the fucking CEOs. I don't like none of them motherfuckers. But you know what? It's not my fucking prerogative. I don't give a fuck what the fuck y'all do over there. It doesn't affect me. I'm too busy on my own fucking piece of plastic box for me to give a fuck. Now, you may see me occasionally wonder about, like, for instance, ray tracing. There was this Forza thing where the guy says that ray tracing was going to be in Forza. I'm just trying to figure out, you barely have games, like Halo doesn't have ray tracing. You know what I'm saying? You barely have ray tracing in Forza Horizon 5. So how are you going to have ray tracing at 4K, 60 frames a second, when nobody fucking was able to do that? I'm just trying to figure out. I'm curious because I'm a tech geek. How are you making that work? Knowing the specs of the thing. So you may see me engage in, some Xbox shit, but it's never to the point where I'm calling superiority shit. You know what I mean? Like I have a really big problem with Sony pandering just really marginalized communities. That pisses me off as a Japanese fucking company with a lot of white executives telling a black guy what I should think about any fucking thing. Shut the fuck up and make the game. I don't care about your political views. Just make a fucking game. That's good. I don't need you to make Miles Morales to make me feel better that you have a black character that's just like fucking Peter Parker and he's not really black. I don't give a fuck about that. Doesn't bother me. That don't make me feel any better. I'm not fucking Puerto Rican. I don't claim that nigga. I'm just keeping 100. You know what I mean? The way that Marvel did that character, they tried to cover all bases like lazily. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna pick two marginalized fucking communities and smash that shit together and say it, whatever. If you're along with Puerto Ricans, he's Puerto Rican. If you're black people, he black too. You know what I mean? I killed two birds with one stone. Fuck that shit.
To be honest with you, like I didn't necessarily not it's just not bad or anything like that, but the first time I heard about Miles Morales was when they created Spider-Man Into the Spideyverse movie for Netflix, and I never seen it. I never seen it when it first came out. I never seen it, period. So, and then of course they have a Spider-Man Miles Morales video game or whatever, and of course I'm gonna play that on my PlayStation. Yes, I still didn't beat Spider-Man. Y'all can judge me. I don't give a fuck. But the thing about it is that game is just so good, and I really don't want to rush it. And I felt like I was rushing it already because I collected all the backpacks. I took all the pictures.
Wait, hold on. Did you say that you don't collect shit? What happened?
Yeah, well, that's different because the game fun. If the game fun, then I'm gonna do it. If the game is fun, I'm gonna do it. That's the difference. That's my excuse. Okay, if the game not fun, then I'm gonna just hurry up and get it over with. But if the game is fun, then I'll just go a little over and beyond, depending on how I feel. But but yeah,
I actually did that with Returnal. Returnal was my shit. I spent a whole that was my whole summer, yo. Everybody's like, why don't you just go online and just find the fucking glyphs and shit? I was like, don't worry about what the fuck I'm doing. I just want to see Celine's ass, y'all. That's a nice middle-aged ass. Let me put cinnamon on that shit and run. No, but like the game was really good though. I literally didn't want to rush that shit. I took my sweet time all summer. That game is embedded in my head as summer 2021. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, that shit. Everybody would see me play that shit. I was fucking loving it, yo. I would never forget that fucking game, yo. I'm sorry. Like, I feel you. And nobody can judge you. You have the game and you like the shit, though. No, so what were you going to say? My bad.
No, you good. It's just that I fucking love Spider-Man. Like, that game is, like, fucking fun and phenomenal. Like, I know everybody knows this, but this is technically my first playthrough. And there was a cutscene where Peter Parker and Mary Jane was in the diner. And then I guess when they was about to leave or whatever, Stan Lee was the waiter. Bro, I immediately cried, bro. I cried so hard. Like, that shit was so emotional for me because I never thought that I would actually see Stan Lee remastered on my fucking PlayStation inside of a video game, bro. That shit was just, man, I
they got that. They caught that. They caught that whole thing. They caught that whole thing, like and let me ask you. This is one question. Wait, hold on. Let me just say this, right? Who's lighting fireworks? It's not even the 4th. The fuck?
That people do that over here all the fucking time.
Yo, for what? Yo, for what? Save that shit. Yo, serve.
What up? What up?
What's good? What you guys say about things?
I just wanted to comment on the single player versus multiplayer thing, man. I think it's all, I don't know, like, the more and more I sit back and listen to these conversations, the more and more I realize that there's more subjectivity and nuance to pretty much every fucking subject than a lot of people realize. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
Oh,
it's
Lord.
it's it's one of those things to where, like, at some point you're going to be debating people's opinions, you know what I'm saying, and not actual fact, because it's going to be one of those things to where I could sit up here and say For Honor is the best multiplayer game ever fucking made, but then on the other hand, Shadow can come out and say, hey, For Honor's a dead game. You know what I'm saying? And then those are opinions being argued at that point. You know what I'm saying? So I just think there is no better way to play video games. You just play what you like, man. I
I
play
don't
my.
So
think
what?
Honor's dead. You want to talk about the dead online multiplayer game?
No, I was just
Anthem.
using that as an example. You know what I'm saying? So it's just more so like I just think people need to realize that their points aren't always, you know, absolute. You know what I'm saying? It's always good to hear what other people have to say and not rain on them for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, go on YouTube after this is done and look up Gamecast. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Listen to this show because that's what we were actually talking. I don't know. You weren't here the whole time, but we were talking about that shit before. Specifically, what happened with Akira and stuff like that, and how people can't take opinions of other people at all. You know what I'm saying? They're so quick to just want everybody into an echo chamber, and it's like it has my way or the highway. And me, um, and the way that I saw it was just like, yo, there's a difference of opinions. That's just the bottom line. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
People were getting upset when I was speaking to Shadow. You know, he has a unique situation where it's just like, come on, bro, like, you know, like he had his reaction. Not saying that you're a young buck or whatever, but that's how everybody should model themselves after. You're not going to agree with everything ever.
Yeah, that's
You know what I'm
true.
saying?
That's
It's just
true.
it's not going to be there, and you shouldn't like shit on people because they don't align with everything that you say. I've seen people that ban or not ban, but they fucking block people because they didn't agree with stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? It was like, oh, you like Meg Thee Stallion? Oh no, I can't fuck with you. Like dumb shit. Like, are you for real?
Yeah.
So,
Me
I,
personally, I don't care about none of that shit. I've been actually like taking a back seat to this whole game and Twitter space shit just because it's not what I thought it was gonna be. You know what I'm saying? So it's
yeah,
more.
I saw you wasn't there. You was in the cut.
Yeah, man. I come in and I listen, but I'm not. I don't feel the need to participate in this shit no more because I don't feel like it's a real community. It's more drama and it's more people exposing people and looking for information on people and attacking people personally. And it's just like, bro, I don't.
Taking screenshots. I feel like that's the dumbest. Okay, so before I even get off track, right? Hold on, sir. Shadow, I'm gonna ask you this: do you feel this is on a different tangent? This is what I was going to say. I know what Sir was saying is going to blow me completely off topic. So, and I'm here for it, right? Shadow, do you feel like corporations should cater to you and your decisions and your beliefs, or should they just do whatever the fuck they want to do?
What do you mean, as far as that? Like, could I
So,
possibly have an
for,
example?
I think
so
I know
yeah.
where he going with this, but
So,
go ahead.
No,
so
keep it
for
all the way
Miles,
100.
so
I got a
so for
backbone.
Miles, so for Miles Morales, right?
Mm.
I just told you I don't want a black fucking Spider-Man. Call me a coon or whatever the fuck it is. This make a different character altogether. That's how I feel. Now I feel like a lot of corporations are retro. What do you call it again? Not retro. Retconning characters and making them different fucking thing. Like there was like a black fucking Thor. I like.
Oh, I know what you mean now. Okay, okay.
Or even like a character
Personally,
from like LGBT or whatever the case is.
yeah,
Like all that shit. All the fucking marginalized communities. You feel like you
Shit.
care about
yeah.
these corporations. Like this, it's not genuine. I can tell you that much. But go continue.
Most definitely, because like I've seen some shit long ago saying that Tim Drake is low key bisexual or some shit like that, and it was like, okay, like I feel like, and I got into an argument with a big ass gaming a gay nerd community or whatever, because what I said was that, I don't feel like this was a genuine approach. You making an already existing character that already, has a girlfriend, which is Stargirl and stuff like that, and you just turning him bisexual just because it's Pride Month. No. Like I don't feel like that's genuine. I don't feel like that's necessary. And if you really, really care about, the LGBT community or whatever the fuck, whatever the case, I feel like you should create a whole new character from the ground up that that participates within that spectrum, or that, like, you can't just sit up here and just turn. I mean, you can, but it's
I
just
mean, you do
not
what you want to
genuine.
do, but I get it. But like, like for me, I don't want to be a part of race swapping and all this other shit. I just don't want to be a part of it. Like Miles Morales is a different story.
Well,
I mean,
Miles
he's
Morales is
technically
a new
is, but
character, so they. I mean, I
well,
understand why you don't
he's
like
been
it,
out
but
there for
it's a
he's out there for
fresh new
decades.
character.
He's been there for decades, and a lot of situations. But Miles Morales, they really did, to the best of their ability, really try to make him his own thing, and I'm here for that. But the shit that they're doing now, but just making characters like that whole Black Thor and claiming what if, like, come get the fuck out of here. Like
By
they literally took.
Odin's Fade. Who the fuck wrote that?
I
Wait,
was
you
like,
said it was on the episode of What If?
it
No,
was
it's
not.
Oh,
Well,
no.
there's
They turned
comics.
What
There's
If
comics
into a
like
oh, it's
that.
a
comic
comic.
series. Yeah,
Oh,
they turned What If
Yeah,
into a comic series, and then they, what if Miles
Miles
Morales was
Morales
Thor?
yeah, I
And
did
and
see that
Wolverine
comic book.
and Wolverine and any other fucking character. And then he was like, "Yo, how about you get this Odin fade?" I was like, "Who did this? Who's responsible for this?"
when I read that little bubble, bro, I fainted.
I,
I
I was
fucking
like, "Nigga."
fainted. Like what? Who came up with that? By Odin's Fade, huh? All right.
I
Do
was
y'all
like,
feel
"Hell
like
no."
do y'all feel like the corporations are just swinging too hard and doing too much just to like they're
I
low
mean,
key being a little racist by doing that stuff?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think they're out of touch. Even with the even when like companies change their their shit to the rainbow shit for Pride Month, bro. Y'all only do that for one fucking month, for one.
True.
You know what
True.
I'm saying? And I feel like it's
It's
just
fake.
pandering. I feel like it's
All right. Hold up, bro. Hold up. So about this Pride Month thing, it's kind of off topic and on topic at the same time. But like, how do y'all like? Okay, because I'm Somali, right? So I'm a Somali immigrant. My parents came from Africa and to America, so I'm a first generation immigrant. But as African Americans, how do y'all feel about like Pride Month being basically on the same level as like Black History Month, when like y'all really were out here struggling for so long, and it's like now corporations are just so quick to kind of just make that seem more important. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I
and they're
feel
I
so
like
quick
mean,
to
they
capitulate with
It's
did the
that.
not. It's
same
not. I
shit.
don't think that's in the same caliber. I don't think
Yeah, but
so.
no.
more so that's
It's
more so
not. We
some
know it's not.
Juneteenth shit. I would say that's
We
more so akin to Juneteenth. I feel like the corporation swung too hard or did a little bit more pandering with that, and I feel like they don't really know what that shit meant for real. You know what I'm saying?
they
And
don't, and nor do
yeah,
they
and
care.
yeah, exactly. And I don't think that should be celebrated by corporations or companies, because a lot of these companies, man, believe it or not, they'd have made a lot of money off of slavery back in the day, especially these super old companies that are still functioning to this day. So we just got to keep that type of shit in mind. You feel me? But like, as far as Pride Month goes, like I said, I think they're pandering to a community because they know that community is we I, keep it. The gay community is a very polished community for the most part. You know what I'm saying? They got. I don't know too many broke gay people. I don't know too many dirty gay people. I don't know too. No, like seriously, I don't know too many like people that are in that community that are down bad. You feel me? So when you
You'd
talk
be
about,
surprised. You
I
would
mean,
be
I would be. I
surprised.
probably would be. I probably would be. But at the same time, I feel like Pride Month is one of those months where they feel like that it could be parties, they can generate a lot of revenue, they can get a lot of money from this community. You feel me? And that's really what it boils down to.
But
Period, point blank. I'm going to answer this, and I'll let whoever speak on this.
Mhm.
These corporations, they follow whoever's the squeakiest will, and I feel like there's a lot of
That's true.
narcissistic people. There's a lot of narcissistic people, and it makes the LGBT community seem extremely narcissistic for that loud minority. You know what I'm saying? It's the same way. It's the same thing like a black person pulling a race car anywhere they can get. You know what I'm saying? And they cater to it because it makes the money. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of that shit going on where they're just doing whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like again, you say you're from Africa. Your parents and stuff like that. That doesn't fly the LGBT community over there. It doesn't fly over there,
Yeah.
right? So I better not see you rocking any rainbow signs as a
Yo,
corporation if you're
I
going to
was
remove
I
it.
was about to say, like I feel like these corporations, man, they don't even care about other cultures because
They
most
don't.
cultures around the world, like, outside of America and like the liberal parts of like Europe, they don't fuck with that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they don't. It's really like taboo, and we don't even talk about it. It's like stop.
I'll
You know what
even
I'm
put it this
saying?
way, right? I even put it this way: the Star Wars, right? This is what kills me about Disney. The Star Wars, right? I forgot what Star Wars movie, but there was a black actor. You know what I'm saying? And that black actor was removed from the China promotions so they can still make their money because they didn't want to see
Is it is
blackface on
it
their
is it
fucking
one of the
poster.
more recent ones?
It was a more recent one, yeah.
It had to be John Boyega.
Yeah, yeah. They removed his ass over there, but yet Disney's the main fucking person talk about LGBT, marginalized racists, and all this other shit that we are inclusive. But when it comes to a different country, when it's all about that fucking dollar bill, oh, they're going to fucking pander however way they're going to get it. Another thing these corporations are doing is they're mixing marginalized communities together to get maximum fucking benefit. Like if you're going to be gay, make sure that bitch is black too. You know what I'm saying? And handicapped. Like all the above, so I can make sure I cover bases. So if you don't like it, I can make a big stand and get like originally what we were talking about before, so I can get engagement and likes, so it can look better for my company. If somebody says, "Well, I don't agree with gay people," oh, you're doing it because she's black and gay. Ooh, you go bigot. Like, no, you know what I mean, or vice versa. Maybe it's somebody in the LGBT that gets upset. Why she gotta be a black person? Oh, that's how you feel, you racist. It's like they try to cover all bases to make sure that they can get maximum fucking profit. And that's what you were saying as well, Shadow. It's not genuine. Because if it was fucking genuine, you should make a character from the ground up. Like I said, the only person I'll let go is Miles Morales. He was established decades ago. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not mad at that necessarily, but these new fucking characters, let's make Superman and everybody, and then they always go under the guise of, oh, we already had a comic. It's one fucking issue. We already had a comic 30 years ago or 40 years ago, so you can't say that we're just doing it. Nigga, like we fucking know what it is. Let's be fucking 100% on it. Like the only reason why, how come it didn't happen 15 years ago? How come you didn't make the comic back then? What happened? If you cared so fucking much. It's frustrating when I see this shit. But going back to Serve, going back to what you were saying, I'm sorry. People
Shit.
seem to take an elitist look for single player games, and it's mostly the PlayStation community.
Mm.
They're just keeping it a buck. They'll sit there and say that, oh, I'm better because I play single player games, and you're just you're a corporate slave and you're a consumer because you're buying all these microtransactions. You buy fucking your box art. I mean, go on, please. Whoever was trying to talk, go on, please. My bad.
Oh, you good, man. I was just gonna say, well, we do got those people that buy the collector's editions where it come with $200 action
Faxi,
figures or toys or collectibles. Um,
faxi.
we do got people that will buy $60 expansions for multiplayers. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't see the difference between the two. You know what I'm
It's not
saying? Like there is no difference.
one you pay all at once, and the other one you pay over time.
Exactly. So
I got a Horizon Forbidden West fucking Trimotusk statue that was $200 in my fucking bedroom. I have no regrets.
I feel you on that, man. I just feel like I said, man, it's all about how you viewing things. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys, hey man, they feel like getting those achievements and getting those platinums are better than interacting with actual people and playing multiplayer games. Now don't get me wrong. I love platinum and shit. I just started platinum in games when I was playing Ghost of Tsushima. I've platinum
A lot
the
of people platinum that. A lot of people felt they liked it. They liked it so much they want the full Monty.
Yeah, and I've also platinum Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales as well. So it's one of those things to where like, man, it's all about what you like. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna keep saying that because it seems like when people have difference of opinions, or if a person rather plays a multiplayer, they feel like this person doesn't really game, or this person doesn't know anything about fucking gaming. And it's like, bro, that's not the case. That's just what they like to play. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like all of this fake gamer, real gamer shit, like, bro, I feel like people are requiring and demanding too much out of people that they don't even fucking know, that they had never interacted with in real life, that they'll never probably see in real life. Y'all demanding too much out of strangers. You know what I'm saying? And I
Yo,
feel like that's
serve and Shadow, y'all speaking too much facts.
no,
Too
like,
much facts. So you know what the funny thing is? I'm looking at the engagement in this room, right? And I see people seething because they're fucking culprit of this shit. They don't like that shit. They turning, churning.
yeah,
I don't want to
man.
hear this shit because they don't want it. Like, it's the fucking facts. Mind your fucking business. If somebody wants to play cell phone games all day or play
Exactly.
microtransaction or want to platinum fucking
If
games,
you want to
I
play
get
Call
it.
of Duty Mobile for 10 hours straight, who the fuck am I to tell you you're not a real gamer? Who the
Now
fuck am I to tell you?
I will say this: the only time that a gamer tag or a PSN account should be looked up is if that person wants to fucking smoke and they're bringing it to their attention. If they're like that and they're like, well, guess what though? Guess what? I played these games, and if somebody calls you to fuck out and be like, yo, nigga, you only have one fucking trophy. What do you mean you played the game? That's
Now
the only,
that
to me, exception.
Now that to me is one of those things to where like you just don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like me, like I'm one of those guys that I'll never go into space and talk about a game that I haven't played. I never go into space and talk about a game that I haven't experienced with my own two hands and that controller in my hand and not controlling the main character. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
we do
Now
have those people.
I spoke about games that I didn't like. Now, the only reason why I spoke about the games I didn't like is what I would say my angle would be like, it didn't compel me to get it. I'm sorry, it looked dull as shit. But that will be the extent of it. And I'll explain to the person why it looked dull.
Exactly. And I'm one of
But
those
but
people
I'm
as
not going to sit
well.
there and say that the game is fucking trash and not have a fucking backing.
Yeah, and that's the problem right there. Like even when I have my criticisms about Horizon Zero Dawn, you know what I'm saying? People were making it seem like I didn't even play the game. It's like, no, bro, I got at least 10 hours in the game. It's just not one of those games for me. You know what I'm saying? It's the combat is fun, but the story and shit didn't keep me. You know, it didn't hold me to like say, okay, man, I need to see where this story goes. I didn't feel that way in that game. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends on the person. It really does.
And you don't have to explain yourself. So here's the thing though. I did touch up on Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West and what its meaning was, like why people kind of felt that way about that game. And I promise you guys I'll wrap this shit up. But I said this. I say, and it's funny because even on social media, right? People love toxicity. You know what I'm saying? You could have a wholesome fucking tweet like, wow, you know what I'm saying? This is a really good time for gaming.
That's true.
Somebody come out of nowhere. What the fuck you talking about, yo? You stupid for what you like game pads you like? And it's like, no, I'm just saying we got a lot on our plate. Well, you trying to say Halo's good? That's what you trying to say? And it's like, if I fucking like Halo, I like Halo. And granted, I don't think that game's doing really well. and it could have been a hell of a lot better. Basically, basing it off of the previous ones, but that's not the point. Like that's my opinion, and I'll leave it like that. But I don't go out and be like y'all shitty. Now, Game Pass, I will say the stuff that they have in there to me wouldn't be worth it, worth it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm also not capping for PSN either. You know, I don't like subscription services, and everybody heard me say this shit. I'm not capping for that bullshit either. That's just my opinion. But the toxicity is this: when it comes to Horizon Forbidden West, right? People don't like Aloy. They say that she's dry. They say I can't get into it because the game just isn't toxic enough. It's too fucking wholesome. She don't have that baby mama drama. She didn't get knocked up somewhere. You know what I'm saying? She's not cheating on somebody. I'm just saying, if she was
And
cheating
hold
on
on,
it,
but this the crazy part about it. In what world is Horizon Zero Dawn wholesome? It's a post-apocalyptic world. Ain't shit wholesome about that game.
it's wholesome as it could be due to the circumstances, right? And what I simply mean, like you'll sit there and play,
It's
like
a
for instance,
it's a
like
Sony. It's a first party Sony IP where the character doesn't have daddy issues.
exactly. That's what I mean. That's what I mean by toxicity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no daddy issues. There's no baby mama drama. There's no child support in this bitch. That all that shit. People are like, I don't understand. She's not a bitch. You know what I'm saying? You
If you
know,
pay attention to if you pay attention to most of the recent first party, IPs that are be those over the shoulder single player games, they're all based around family. You know what I'm saying? The last Uncharted 4 was pretty much based on the relationship between Nathan and Sam. Um, the plot in Uncharted Lost Legacy was Chloe finishing her father's treasure hunt. You know what I'm saying? Or even God of War 2018, the dynamic between Atreus and Kratos. You know what I'm
or
saying? Like
shit, fuck. At 2018, you can go to the original God of War where he killed his fucking family.
his whole entire family. So
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
just one of
It's
those things
Sony.
that
Sony be pulling on the heartstrings. That's what they be doing.
exactly,
I'm just not.
exactly.
I'm just not like weak to that shit. You know what I mean? I got a buff on that shit. You know, you can't catch me. Like when
So
Joe got murdered.
hold on, wait a minute. You played Spider-Man?
Hmm.
Did you beat it?
Hmm.
So you didn't cry at the end of Spider-Man 2018?
Hold on, don't spoil hallway.
Don't don't
Wait.
yeah. Don't,
No,
I was going to
I
say.
ain't
I was going
spoiled
to.
shit. I just don't do that. I didn't spoil nothing. I just asked him,
Oh,
did he
okay.
cry?
Just making sure.
He had to
No,
cry,
no,
bro. He had to cry.
no.
You
I
had
can
bro,
tell you.
everybody cried at the end of that fucking game, bro.
I
I know
did.
I
I saw it.
did. I
I
dropped a
saw it
tear.
happen. I knew it was going to happen. You want to know what made me cry though? What game made me cry? Like tear up?
What's that?
It was Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 and Shadow of the Colossus.
I hear Shadow of the Colossus is a really good game, and they remastered it, didn't they?
Yeah, you need to go play that shit.
Well, they
Because
remade it. I don't want to say remastered. They
well, yeah,
remade it.
that's a whole remake. But regardless of the matter, even that was a family story or a relationship story. But that's what Sony typically does. But what happened with The Last of Us, right? They want too ham. Like that was a prime example of them trying to go after your heartstrings and play with your emotions. If Jim Ryan said he wanted to do that anyway. That's how you get that attachment. The same thing happens with the Marvel movies, right? Marvel movies are notorious for pulling on your emotions, but
They
not
don't
in a
do that
way that
shit
make
no
you.
more because I can't stand none of that new shit now, man.
Well. Here's the thing, and it's funny because people can't let go of the fact, like that Marvel Cinematic Universe just fucking dropped in quality, and it's not a.
It happened right after
There's no.
it happened right after Endgame.
Well,
They
Endgame
do
was
have
doing
some
it.
good shit sprinkled in there. Like WandaVision wasn't bad, Loki wasn't bad, even Shang-Chi wasn't bad. But
Thank you.
it wasn't. It's
No,
not what it.
what end up what you know what ruins the game? Trying to cater to anybody. Like
And
when
I
they did
think
the
that's why The
when they
Last
did
of
the
Us
when they
2 was more so polarizing because nobody liked how it played out.
it didn't, and it's not because of the the community that they were going after, but the what was that guy, the Falcon, the fucking Captain America and the whatever Falcon, whatever that show
Yeah,
was.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Captain
That
Falcon.
shit made me.
Yeah.
That shit made me roll my fucking eyes, and that has
Hey,
nothing to
I'm
do with
not gonna lie to
LGBT.
you. Like that one and Moon Knight was kind of cringy. Like Captain America and the Winter Soldier and Moon Knight, you could tell they were kind of pandering with those two shows.
I was like, give me a fucking break, yo. Holding this sword or holding this shield, it's kind of heavy with all the racism and all the niggas that was hung. Stop that.
Yeah, that
You know
shit
what I'm
was
saying?
corny, man.
I
That
was like,
was
come on,
corny.
bro. I was
I
like,
mean,
no, this
I
ain't
mean, what making him?
it.
I mean, I'm not. I think it was him right after Steve Rogers that was Captain America. So they kind of trying to keep a little continuity. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong because I'm not sure who the second Captain America was. I'm pretty sure it was Falcon, but it could be Bucky as well because
I
Bucky.
get it,
Yeah, but
but
at
he
the
couldn't give
same,
it to Bucky because he's a white man. He couldn't give it to him. They couldn't
they
do it
couldn't
because
exactly because they want Captain America to be a black man. You feel me? So like it's pandering, man. At the end of the day, it's fucking pandering, bro. And I don't
and
think that's pulling on the heartstrings of anybody. I think that's just
they
from like
trying though. They
they
trying.
trying, but like it's not going to work in the sense of that because people can see it for what it is. You know what I'm
Have
saying?
y'all noticed that they don't make black leaders anyway?
What do you mean?
They never make it like the black person the leader of the team. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Has to be
Black
like a
Panther.
white guy.
Well,
In
before
what?
Chadwick Boseman died, I thought he was going to lead. He was going to lead the new Avengers, but they had to give it to Doctor Strange because
Uh
Chadwick Boseman died. Chadwick Boseman was going to be the front man for them.
oh, for
And
real?
that's why,
Okay
yeah,
then.
and that's why Wakanda Forever was supposed to be so big, and that's why everybody like recast T'Challa, if I'm not mistaken, is trending right now. You know what I'm saying? So,
It's
like,
been trending for months.
in months, you feel me? So, like, it's one of those things to where like they don't want to do that anymore because they feel like it'll be disrespectful to
Disrespectful.
Chadwick Boseman. But at the same time, if the people are telling you to recast Chadwick, then that's what you should do. I'm just
I respect it. I respect it for sure.
and then like with this being like with this being King T'Challa's like most storied rivalry with him and Namor, we know Namor is going to be the antagonist for the
Who's
next
Namor?
movie. He's the king of Atlantis in the Marvel cinema. Well, in the Marvel comics, he's the king of Atlantis.
Oh,
So
Like what? Like when they? I'll tell you this. When I watched Endgame, and they like, first of all, fucking what was her name? What's the chick name again? Brie Larson. What was
yeah,
she again?
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. When she
And
did that shit, yo.
that was one of the most rushed movies that they ever did. There was no reason for her to be in that movie.
Not was
I
not was.
enjoyed it. She was pretty cool.
I mean, she was, but at the same time, like they were trying to make it
Well,
seem like that she is going to be the leader of the cosmic side of everything. But if that's the case, and y'all know y'all weren't going to lean into that until after the Infinity War and Endgame was over, y'all should have waited. You know what I'm saying? I think that was one misstep in those first couple of phases of the Marvel
well,
shit. Like they shouldn't.
well. Here's the biggest problem with the Marvel movies. This is the biggest problem with the Marvels, right? Uh, they went too big, and they grabbed everybody in. And it's like, how big do you want it?
I
You know
mean,
what I'm
they
saying?
took
Like,
the most popular characters. You know what I'm saying? And I think they
no, but
kind of.
it's not even that. It's the fact that, like, for instance, my favorite superhero is Spider-Man, and specifically Peter Parker, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that this motherfucker really had a lot of fucking responsibility to do, and then because of all of the poverty and all of his insecurities, the best way he could kind of handle it was comedy. He's always been like that, right?
Yeah,
Cool.
fucking homeless superhero is the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, but his story, like for him to be a superhero is extremely relatable because he's the most human. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, even though he has like Peter Parker is the most human superhero that
Out of
we've ever
Marvel.
seen out of Marvel, period. You know what I'm saying? So like gotta keep that in mind. And I
He's
think
not
that's why
rich. He's not rich, and he has the power and shit like that to like fuck people up,
and
and he
fuck people
tries.
over and he just tries to do his best with it.
Yeah, and they give you a good reason as to why he doesn't do it. Why he doesn't like manipulate, and that was his fucking his uncle that checked him.
Yeah.
before
He
he
had
died.
morals. Yeah, he had
And
morals.
that gave him the morals and shit like that. That's why I never was able to relate to him. But I never needed Peter Parker to be black for me to, to
I mean,
understand what the fuck this dude is.
do y'all feel the same way about Miles though? His story is kind of basic, low key.
I'm gonna be honest with you. They pretty much copied and pasted his story. You feel me? Uncle
Yeah.
Ben is Jefferson Davis and Miles Morales' story. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know, man. I'm gonna be honest with you though. The way that they're going, like when I played Miles Morales the video game, I like the way that
Don't
they interpreted it.
don't
So it just
make sure that you don't say anything because Shadow
yeah,
has
yeah,
it.
yeah. I ain't trying to have the wrath of Shadow come down on me.
No,
Goddamn.
you good. I'm about to leave anyway. So
Yo,
go ahead.
appreciate it. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you.
Of course, not a problem, man. I appreciate you too, man. Can't wait for you to host more spaces, bro.
Thanks. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm about to wrap this up too. But yeah, have a good evening, man.
Yep, you too. See y'all later.
All right,
See ya.
now.
What were you saying, Surf?
But yeah, man, like with the whole story with Miles Morales, like I feel like that story is going to be, I don't know. I feel like Miles' story is going to be a lot more darker than Peter's. And I
I would say so.
first of all, like, okay, since Shadow gone, right? Okay, look. First of all, his best friend is a supervillain.
Yeah.
His uncle is a supervillain. You feel me? So and then not to mention, he's going to inherit every single supervillain that Peter Parker has, the ones that haven't died yet. So when you think about that and you put it into perspective, you think like, yeah, man, he's going to have a way tougher time being Spider-Man than Peter Parker.
And because he's black.
Exactly, that as well.
Black.
But what the craziest part about that is though, and I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, Peter Parker is from Brooklyn. So is Miles Morales, right? But
He's from
Peter,
Harlem, I think.
no, he moved to Harlem.
Yeah.
He moved to Harlem. But they're both from Brooklyn, right? And Peter,
they're not supposed to be in the same universe either.
They're not. But that's why I love the way that Sony did it, because they made it believable. Peter, he patrols the entirety of Manhattan, right? They made sure Miles' main patrol was in Uptown, which is Harlem. You know what I'm saying? So they're already changing the aspect of who's a priority to Miles Morales. You know what I'm saying? Like they put the bad guys in Harlem. You know, they based them out of Harlem. The other bad guys is from Harlem. So it's going to be everybody that's going to do something. Tongue tied as hell. Okay, listen. Everything that's going to be in every way that, oh my God, I'm so sorry, guys. Every way that Miles Morales is going to be impacted is going to be extremely close to home. Extremely close. Now, his uncle almost got him killed. You know what I'm saying? His uncle almost got him killed by Roxxon. You feel me? So, with that being said, we don't know how that they're going to interact with each other after he gets out of prison. You know, we just don't know. So we'll just have to see.
Does he know the identity? I forgot. I can't remember.
Yeah, he does.
Because when you first meet him, he already know you Spider-Man. So, but I'm just saying, man, how they can write Miles Morales to be one of the most polarizing characters, or they can make him be the stereotypical black kid that like the Jays and you know what I'm saying, but they're gonna make him be a good black kid. You feel me? So it just all depends on how
I felt like it was disrespectful that Miles didn't act like black or Puerto Rican. Like, where the chicken at?
Man, where the chicken at?
He didn't say beef.
Where the collard greens? Where the fucking beans? I didn't see none of that shit. His mom was making fucking, what was it? What was she making fucking what's a white meal? What's a casserole and shit like that?
Yeah,
I was like, when fucking
casserole.
Genki dropped that shit, she was like, oh no, Genki, he spilled casserole. That ain't no fucking multicultural fucking. Where the collard greens at?
That's white people food, casserole.
Yeah. In America, is white people food for sure. But
Yeah. I fuck with
You
some
know what's
Castro. I
so
ain't gonna hold
crazy
you,
about
but
that shit? Listen, and Game Cash. That's what's so crazy, bro. Because that just goes back to what I said earlier, and it's all about nuances. You feel me? Like those little things matter. You know, to make a character more believable and to make him more fleshed out. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they wanted to add Miles Morales because for one, he's black, and for one, he's like probably the third or fourth most popular character in the comic books right now. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it just made
especially now. And you
yeah.
know what bothers me? And you know what? Because he don't act black either. You know what I'm
He
saying?
doesn't. He doesn't
Just
act black.
yo,
He
can you
doesn't
just?
act Puerto
I'm
Rican.
like, yo, everybody's gonna be like, oh, what do you mean by he doesn't act black? Shut your ass up. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. You know You know I sound black. You know I'm sounding black right now. So don't even fucking don't even go there. You know I sound black.
They
You know
could
what I
make him
mean?
a. They could
But
make
I
him a
just want
little
him to
bit.
say. I just want him to say nigga just once, a couple times. You know what I
Hey
mean?
man, that's hilarious. But no,
Honestly,
I
bro.
think
Honestly, you know
Flirty and
Jamie
slip.
I
Foxx in
want him to be more
what's
relatable.
the newest movie for Spider-Man? He was doing good in that role. Honestly, he was authentic. You know what I'm saying?
He was authentic. He was like, damn. You know what I mean? I
For
like
real.
the way like when he say shit like that, like, damn, yo, come on, yo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was just like, you know, he didn't sound black. You know, just always sound like Pete. Like, come on, bro. My voice ain't that high pitch unless we joking.
Yeah, man. For him to be what he was about, I say he was about 17 in the Miles Morales game. So for his nuts to not drop by the end, bro, yeah, that don't make no
You know,
sense,
I
man.
was like, bro, we gonna need to do better than that, yo. I'm gonna need
Yeah.
you. I'm gonna need you as you walking down the streets of Harlem. That like when he was walking and he was doing a little gun sign and shit like that.
The
I'm gonna need you to look
legit
at
shit.
I'm gonna need him to look at a fat ass as he's walking down the street while they playing that.
Yeah, like turn around like the little deaf girl,
You know
like the
what I
little deaf
mean?
girl. He just look like the little deaf girl. He got the little crush on the shit. Why you ain't put them,
You know,
bro?
yeah, you know
You
she had
ain't
an
get
ass, yo. I'm
playing with
just
her
saying,
or
yo.
nothing.
I don't think it's authentic. That's all I'm saying. That's not, especially in New York. That ain't how it goes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no. How come he ain't talking to his friend? You be like, yo, you see that shit? Yo, Genki, you see that ass? That shit crazy. You know, whatever his voice sound like. That's what I feel like he should do, and that would be authentic to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't try to take it there to act like he black. You know what I mean? What does black mean? What exactly do you mean? I hate these semantics, yo. Shut your ass up. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know, that's
You
just
know
like Kratos,
exactly what
yo.
that shit meant, man. Stop
Just like
playing.
just, just like Kratos, right? Everybody talking about he Greece or he Greek or whatever. Nah, nigga, that's
Man,
a black dude.
Kratos is a nigga. Like y'all white
Like,
fathers don't talk to y'all like that. Y'all white daddies
yo,
do not
Yo,
talk to
y'all are
y'all like
actually
that.
funny as
That's
heck,
somebody's
bro.
black
Y'all are
dad right there.
funny.
yo, that is the way that the way he was
Boy.
the way he was coming at Atreus, yo. He was like, you are not ready. I am ready. Shut your ass up before I whoop your ass. I'm like, oh, that's black. That's black. That was black. I felt that. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Calling
crazy.
him.
Kratos is more black than Miles. It's kind of mad,
Yeah,
honestly.
he
Yeah,
is.
that's
He
that's
That's
that
is.
is kind
crazy.
of
That's just
mad,
you should
ain't
Yo,
just put it like
especially when
that.
he was like,
Next
yo,
time you bring it up, just say that.
especially when he was knocking on Freya's door. Woman, open the door.
it
I
is
need
too.
help.
Hey, y'all hilarious, man. Y'all are hilarious, but y'all making points though.
Yo, fucking Magnificent Black was like she was frying sweet plantains. No, where? I didn't see them graphics. That shit didn't look like that, yo. Get out of here, man. Talking about some. I don't want to hear it, yo. I don't want to hear it, yo. I don't know where the greens at. And even if she was frying some fucking plantains, where the greens at? Where the chicken at? Come on, man. Like he's black and Puerto Rican. His dad didn't fucking cook. That's what it is. This is what y'all doing. Fuck out of here, yo. I'm just saying, yo. I'm just saying. I want an authentic. I'm so sick of these developers that is like 97% white doing these black characters, yo, and not doing it right. Like when they made Ghost of Tsushima, they got the whole
They went and
essence
got a
of
Japanese character for Jin Sakai.
they asked them on some shit, yo. They was like, yo, how do you make Japanese motherfucker, yo? I said, I don't know how to do that shit. I'm from Ohio, yo. How you do that? And they made sure they did right. You know what I'm saying? when he was like, Masako, stop. You know what I'm saying? I was like, that's Japanese, yo. I like that. But you got a black character tell me so Genki, P.
I
That
think
ain't
they're
how
low
we
key just
say.
kind of afraid to write, on the script,
To get a black person to do that shit,
Yeah,
yo.
they should.
Then
I
if
think
you if
they
you
should,
so
but
you so
there's the ones
scared
who
about it,
don't.
get a black person to do that shit, yo. They were like, yo,
It's cancel
it's
culture,
stereotype.
If the
Yeah.
writer writes the wrong thing, it's cancel
Who
culture.
that who that trying to talk? H2O. I would say this is about my bad. What's going on, H2O?
I'm good, man. I'm just laughing over here at what you're saying. No, you're right though. You're right. But have you seen the latest Miles Morales Thor? Have you seen that?
Yeah, we were just talking about that shit, man. That shit made
Oh
me
my
sick.
god.
Man, I was like, what the fuck is this, man? What is this?
Honestly,
Somebody explained it.
I was.
Give him my yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck this by Odin's fade means.
Oh, you know what it means. You gotta catch this fade, yo.
That's
You like,
crazy. That's one.
no,
That's one
no, you're
crazy
not
ass
trying to
nigga
catch,
shit.
yo. You're not trying to catch a fade. You trying to catch this Odin's fade, yo. That's on some
Did
new
y'all see
level,
him
yo.
walking? Did y'all see him walking back into the projects of Asgard, rapping? Did y'all see that
I
page?
guess you know what the fuck. No, I didn't see that, yo. I had to
Yeah,
turn it.
he was like making a. It seemed like he was making a rhythm. I don't know something, but I couldn't hear it.
They made like how they made it look. They made it look like he was rapping with his hands up. He was yelling at the people, and I'm like, bro, is Asgard? Why does Asgard look like the fucking favelas? Like that's
no,
exactly what.
but you know what though? If they made Miles Morales black, like acting black, then we would have a problem then, because we have a problem with catching Odin fades, right? You know what I'm
Hey,
saying? Like, what
I
we
wouldn't
like
say
if they
that. I wouldn't
like
say
if
that because we didn't have a problem with Kratos being black, and he's actually black.
well,
So
he's supposedly Greek, but that nigga act black, yo.
man, that
Yeah,
man ain't Greek. Everybody, listen. Kratos has been played by a black man since his inception. Okay, we not finna sit up here and act like that
So
man wasn't
so
black.
so Darth Vader is black too.
Yes, I don't give a fuck. Nobody say Darth Vader is black. That be people problem, man. Like if we really want to get into this race shit, bro, it's a lot of your favorite characters that is niggas. Like Shredder, that's a nigga.
Yeah, he was whooping
You
that.
get
He
what
was
I'm
whooping them
saying, though?
turtle
Like
asses. He was a hold up. That's why they were all. That's why they respected his ass. But I noticed a lot of Japanese culture, yo. Japanese and black culture share a lot in common. You know what I mean?
yeah.
You know, did you ever see that Kung Fu Hustle
Kung
with
Fu
that
Hustle was
Japanese
lit, and they
that
supposed to be
Japanese
making
woman
a
with the
part two
rollers?
to that.
Oh please, they can't make another part. Yeah, but you remember that shit, right? Where she had the fucking rollers in her hair, smoking that cigarette. That was my grandma. That was my fucking grandma, yo. She smacked the shit out of you and shit like that, yo. That Japanese and black culture, they look like they run parallel. You know what I'm saying? They'll fuck you up, man. These fucking elderlies, these elder women, you know, they will fuck you up. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, the stories I have about my grandma, man. That lady was off her rocker, man. I love her to death, though. I love her to death, man. She was out off her rocker, yo. I remember, you know how you try to impress your white friends. I'm sure if you have white friends, you want to make sure that you're the smartest. You want to make sure that you don't look dumb and shit, and you want to make sure that you're sophisticated and civilized. So when I went to my white friend, I made sure I spoke well. I put on the white voice. Hi, hi, Mrs. James. How you doing today? Oh, he's so well spoken. Oh my God, he's so cute. He looks like Denzel. I didn't look nothing like no fuck. Y'all see the fucking pictures? How the
Yo,
fuck do I look like Denzel?
I've
They
heard
always,
that so many
yo,
times.
that was the go-to when they want to say that you're an attractive black person. Immediately, you are Denzel
Or
at that
another
point.
actor, or another black, handsome, or famous,
Will
famous
Smith.
actor.
He
Yeah,
looks like Will Smith. No, the fuck I don't. I don't look nothing like these niggas. But I'll take it. But she
yeah.
goes. But she goes ahead. They did say that. It's a true story. So I'm sitting there and we're playing with toys. I was all quiet and sophisticated, and she was like, "John, it's time for dinner." And I was like, coming. Yo, this shit was extra fucking white. So I go there. I asked the family. I was like, "Hey, do you have a handkerchief? Do you have a handkerchief so I can clean the corners of my big ass lips?" And then they gave me the fucking handkerchiefs. I laid that shit on my lap and make sure the food don't fall. And then when they were giving me the casserole they had, I made sure I wiped the grease off the sides of my fucking lips and shit like that. I folded the handkerchief and I washed all them dishes and shit like that to let them know I was come from a sophisticated house. My mom called them. She said he was supposed to be back home 20 minutes ago. She was like, oh, I'm so sorry, Mrs. Such and such or whatever the case is. Yo, that somebody they clarified. I thought because Sony made Kung Fu Hustle that shit was Japanese. That shit is Chinese. My apologies. I will be canceled. Anyway, going back to the fucking situation, right? She called me. She was like, "Hey, Mrs. Such and Such." She was like, "Yeah, he's just washing the dishes and stuff like that." She was like, "Oh, really? He washing dishes now? For real?" Because I didn't do that shit in my house. So when I got back home, she was pissed. What the fuck are you doing over there? I said, what happened? You washing their fucking dishes like a fucking slave. I said, no. I'm trying to make it look like, you know what I mean? Well, shut up. I was like, damn. She was like, at least Judas sold Jesus out for 30 pieces of silver. You sold your whole family out for a fucking biscuit. I was like, damn. I'm like, you heard me, shit. You know what I mean? Because we were poor and they had food and I didn't. So she thought that I was cleaning the dishes for a biscuit or some food. But that's how that went. You know what I mean? But that's how ruthless it was. It was just funny. But either way, guys, I'm gonna close this shit. I'm gonna close this shit out. It's time for me to go.